Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
For seventh on the floor. Yo does Alexander, step back three. That's good.
Minnesota lost in 5 to the Mavericks last year in the conference finals. They're going to get another bite at the apple. That's a ball game. Minnesota is moving on. A 121-110 victory in Game 5. And across the line, there's Svechnikov. 2 minutes remaining. Svechnikov with the angle. He scores! The Carolina Hurricanes take the lead.
That one is hit sky high to shallow center, and back to make the grab is Lucas Cook. Not able to make the play as a triangle of Boilermakers couldn't decide whose ball it was, and the ball hits the grass. The third error of the inning for Purdue, and that is going to allow Nebraska to tie this one up at 8. 3-2 to Richmond. Swing and a miss, strike 3, throw down to second, and he got him. Strike him out, throw him out. Huskers. Broderick delivers. Ball hit lightly up the line by Anderson. Underhanded back to Broderick, and that will do it. The Nebraska Cornhuskers will finish off the Purdue Boilermakers 11-9 here in Game 1 of a 3-game set. Close out the 2025 season.
Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
We're doing all right. We're doing all right. We're getting there.
Yeah, a little juice this morning, man. You feeling good?
You know, I'm feeling, got here a little early.
Well, it's early, and I didn't hear any beeps yet.
Yeah, no beeps yet. They're on the way, I'm sure.
They're pretty good.
They're on the way. We'll see what happens.
It's pretty good.
You know, we're out here, right?
I mean, navigating, taking Knucklehead to school and getting here on time is a borderline miracle, considering there's one out of every, 19 streets is functioning at a decent level.
That might be high.
Man, tough out here.
It is. It is tough out here. We're out here though.
Yeah. So I think, what's the duty shift for police? Is it 6 o'clock new shift?
Oh, I don't know.
Because we're used to having early jobs and being out of the house early. I never see any police.
Yeah.
But I think I may be in Shane, do you know?
We might be in one of like the changeover windows.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Don't know much, but I know I can't stand you.
What is that, Aaron
that
Neville?
May be. Yeah, and Linda, don't pronounce the D in my name, stat.
Ronstadt?
Isn't it Ronstadt? Do you pronounce the D?
I don't know. Ronstadt?
Rondstadt? Linda Rondstadt?
I don't think so. I think it's just
Ron. I don't know if you've ever forgot it.
We're saying Pam or Pan?
She used to be a
Jen or Jen?
Jen.
She used to be a backup singer for the Eagles.
Linda Ronstadt?
Yep.
You know, I found something out yesterday.
What's that?
That the drummer.
The little drummer boy?
No.
Okay, sorry.
They told me to shut your face.
I'm not going to do that.
Pum.
I'm not going to do that.
He's like, nah, that ain't 2 words. The drummer, and I somehow went down the rabbit hole of one-hit wonders.
Oh, yeah.
And so Young MC had a #1 song in 1989. That's what Shane likes to do, bust a move.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like Bernie Mac.
So
I said, bust a move.
Got it.
Do you know who his drummer was in that one-hit phenomenon?
I do not.
It was Flea.
Oh, like from the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yes.
Dang.
I was like, huh.
Flea was getting it.
Yeah, so when I learn stupid stuff like that,
yeah,
I just want to be a volunteer on Jeopardy and pray that there's some random musical category.
You just like to share it with the world?
Yeah.
You know what's kind of funny about Jeopardy is a lot of it's sort of more
Are you watching the Tournament of Champions?
I love Jeopardy, yeah.
I like it too.
A lot of it's more about like solving the riddle of the question than actually knowing the answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Whoever asks those questions in such a way is probably pretty bright. I doubt it's Ken.
Oh, Ken's pretty bright.
No, Ken's way bright, but I don't think he's doing
No, he's not writing the questions, I don't think.
Yeah.
You know. He's got a different job. He's talent, as we call it. You know, he's in front of the camera.
It's all relative.
Well, yeah.
It's a relative term, young Ravi.
It's a job title. It's not necessarily a description of ability.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you know they had a fantastic – I don't know how they got into this, and I'm over it on the way here with Canty and the crew. It's a question I've long debated before on this show.
What was he over today?
Would you prefer to be in a hot air balloon or a helicopter?
Oh, I mean, hard pass on both, but if I have to choose,
10,000% hard pass on both.
hot air balloon. They don't go as high. I don't think. I don't
Said
know.
no one ever
I don't
between
know.
having to choose between the two.
Dude,
You
this
just
is
get anxiety thinking about it.
this is childish, but like the Kobe thing has me spooked about helicopters.
No, I'm with you. I'm terrified.
Yeah.
And one of my undershirts the other day was that evac shirt that we got from
Oh yeah.
SkyMix.
Yeah.
Because I had it on the bathroom floor when I was getting out of the shower because I don't like to get powder on the floor, so
Sure.
I laid the shirt down and I was like, man, I didn't realize, I never looked at the back. It's like multicolored.
Yeah.
But I never, ever, 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 ever wear just a t-shirt out.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Like, I don't know. It's like some game within the game or something. I don't know.
You wear sleeves a lot, like long sleeves.
Almost every day.
Yeah.
Caleb and Micah were going to the field yesterday. It's like 4:30 before Zoe's game, and I said, "Hey, we'll just meet you guys over there."
Mhm.
And I heard him walking out on the ring, and Micah goes, "I think I got Dad's superpower. I never get hot." Because I mean, my dude had on like 37 layers, and Caleb goes, "Yeah, whatever."
I just like how he refers it to as your superpower. It's like I'm fine.
You kids are weird. Kids are weird. We were like Micah hit the jackpot. Caleb gave him everything.
Mhm.
This dude's shoe game is incredible.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if Breeze can appreciate it yet. So Breeze is picking through the cleats when he wants to. He's going to the field and whatever he decided on. And so they get to Zoe's game, and I'm like, "Hey, what'd we work on today?" And Mike is like, I like kind of working on a shuffle step, and I'm like, "Hey, Caleb, I love it. You're investing, pouring into them, but at this age, there's only a couple of skills that a DB can really be good at.
Mhm.
Whether you like press or you want to bail or you're a retreat guy, whatever." And he goes, "Hey, I get it. The more three-step, you guys see a lot of three-step, a lot of quick game in high school. You just can't, just cheat code, Dad. I got this." Cool, good talk. Go sit by yourself. No, actually, he didn't. He sat with me. But I did think of you because, and Shane will get a kick out of this. Do you remember the song by Tracy Chapman I said that I like?
Not fast cars.
It is fast.
Oh,
cars.
okay.
So Zoe gets control of the whatever her get hype music is.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this is like the fifth or sixth or seventh game in, and it seems to be the same three songs. So it's a horrible idea by myself. Just horrible idea. So she's playing what sounds like fast car.
Mm.
And I heard the kind of the is it melodic? Whatever. I heard the
melody.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is that the same as melodic, or were you just being that dude?
No, I don't know.
Melodic, melody. I think one's a
they're in the neighborhood.
Derivation of the other.
Yeah.
Adjectival form, maybe.
Yeah.
It was flipping Luke Combs.
Oh, so it's his version?
Yeah, I'm like, Luke Combs has a version of Fast Car?
Oh yeah, it was a big deal.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I felt dirty kind of liking Luke Combs because when Luke Combs blew up, everybody compared him to Stibbs. And I was like, well, what if Stibbs doesn't want that comp? I like Stiblets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I felt like I couldn't ride with Luke Combs. Is that petty? Is that dumb? That is exactly what happened, though.
Yeah, it's a little.
Now, if
because that has nothing to do with Luke Combs. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, as an adult, I kind of get that. I'm just telling you where my mind went.
Well, you asked if it was silly, and I was like, yes, it is.
Listen, sometimes we don't need to be that pragmatic.
Okay.
Like the whole linear thing.
Yeah.
Like, move on.
You're more abstract.
Sometimes a little gray is okay with the thought process.
All right.
Appreciate the safe landing spot.
So we like Stibbs.
No, we don't. I'm done talking about Luke Combs. I feel like we're out of a tree of trust. This bird has broke his neck. Which, by the way, the 15-month-old that survived the 12-story fall in Maryland?
Yeah, what is that?
And why are you out there?
Well, that's a better question, probably.
Ooh. God is good.
I might I have to. I don't know. Jason's the medical expert in the group chat here.
Dr. JG.
But I feel like sometimes because little kids have such like pliable bones, like they're not like set yet. Maybe that helps I don't know.
No,
That's the only thing I could think
ain't
of.
rubber.
No.
But it was like 12 stories.
Yeah, that's horrifying. I don't know how that doesn't kill anybody. It seemed like what was the guy was it the Diamondbacks game that fell out of the stands a couple weeks ago or a week ago?
He just started walking again, right?
I'll say that almost killed him, and that was only. I mean, that wasn't anywhere near 12.
I think he took some first steps.
Okay, that's good.
Just in the last day or two, maybe.
Yeah.
Kind of like Nebraska and West Lafayette yesterday.
But that's the full-grown adult, and I think it was like 40 feet or something that he fell.
That's far.
And it almost killed him.
Their star. He said they're still bouncy at that. No, they will splat, Doc. I don't know about that. Jokers will splat.
Yeah.
You've seen people die from a 4-foot fall.
Yeah, it's
12 stories though.
That's crazy. Like what did they land on? Like what?
I don't know. Like I'm looking at what's the stuff at the bottom of the screen? Closed caption.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if it was like some clotheslines or
like maybe like they hit a couple things on the way down that slowed them down a little bit. I don't know.
We've seen Rambo have his fall broken before, and he's okay.
I don't know that that's like a direct correlation.
I mean, conceptually, like a couple of branches like slow down the velocity.
Have you seen this is a really random thing that showed up on my TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
There's these guys that do what's called they're called shepherd's jumps. They have these crazy long, like probably 20, 30 foot like shepherd staffs, and they'll like jump
like
off.
Like Aaron?
Yeah. Like the hook, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, whoa.
So they have these super long ones, and they use them to like jump off cliffs, and they kind of like slide down like a firefighter on this thing, but it's not attached to anything. It's wild, man.
Like a javelin that sticks in the ground, and they all of a sudden don't want to do the jump, so they
kind of just slide down, and they do it to like descend rocky terrain and mount. It's wild.
Yeah, not doing that.
I'm not either, but
isn't that for like mountain goats and stuff?
Kind of. They're like goat herders. It's weird.
Yeah, not doing that.
JG also says he's taking the helicopter every day of the week.
See, I don't even know. I've never heard anybody pick the hot air balloon.
Yeah, so I've had many people in like Navy pilots be like, I wouldn't get in a helicopter if under any circumstances. And so that freaks me out too.
I famously am afraid of those, and I've had a lot of listeners that for whatever the reason, we have a big helicopter contingency.
Yeah, I don't know why.
And I don't know why, but I feel like I would float away in a balloon. Severe's a hot air balloon guy, and I'm like, I get the height thing though, but anything past 15 feet is nauseating.
Yeah, I'm not excited about either one for sure.
It's not like if I'm at 300 feet versus 4,000, I'm any less terrified.
So that's fair. I probably can't tell it. I'm like, it's really high up here. I don't like it.
I mean, 40 feet is high.
Somebody in the chat said they don't trust a wicker basket to break your fall. Here's the thing: you're not if the helicopter crashes, you're dead.
Yeah,
people don't survive helicopter crashes.
Although all the planes that seem to not be able to hit the landing strip in the ocean, and you see the 2 fighter jets that have crashed in the last 3 weeks. At what point are those guys ejecting?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Because you probably don't realize you're not going to make it until pretty late, right?
I'm mad over losing $20. You think they're mad over like
a $7 million plane?
Yeah,
or $70 million plane. I have no idea how much it would cost. A lot.
Sure, that's nothing to joke about. It's a lot of money.
Because you have to get altitude to eject. So I don't know at what point they realize they're not.
I don't know if you've seen Top Gun, but it don't always work that way.
I have, yeah.
Big Top Gun guy.
I like the second one better.
Never saw the second one.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Val Kilmer guy.
Not really. I'm actually not even a big Tom Cruise guy, but it was a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. He bothers me sometimes, but he's okay.
I'm not a Cruise guy at all. I liked him in A Few Good Men. I liked him in Reacher.
I like A Few Good Men.
Did you ever see Reacher?
Nah, no.
You big Mission Impossible guy?
I liked the first 2, but
I've never seen it.
Again, I don't love Tom Cruise, so I couldn't stick with the franchise. Did you ever see Edge of Tomorrow?
I mean, I'm aware of it. I've never seen it.
Oh, that was one I was shocked was good. I love that movie.
Shane, you're a big Tom Cruise guy.
Oh, that's a great movie. Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, it is a really good movie.
Is that like Etch and Sketch? What'd you say again? What up tomorrow?
I'll answer the question.
Edge of Tomorrow.
That's what it said. I mean, here you guys are giving me a hard time about Jen, but
Amazing day says flying today. Great conversation.
oh shoot, man, is he up already? Damn it! Shouldn't he be watching what's going on at Quail Hollow? Why didn't he shoot over to Charlotte?
I don't know.
He doesn't strike me.
I'd say he might not be
golf.
he might not be a huge golf guy.
Doesn't strike me as a big golf patron.
Yeah.
Hey, who's the guy with all the hair? You need a collared shirt.
It's like, yeah, you can't wear the tank top in here, man.
Yeah, how about now?
Or the biker jacket.
Oh, I don't want to stereotype too bad.
I mean, he rides a motorcycle.
Yeah, I understand that, but
so like, I don't think that's a big jump. It's not a huge leap, you know.
Hey, Shane, by the way, how your golfers doing? Apparently, if you're highly ranked in this golf tournament, you ought not to be playing.
Yeah, I think I'm at +2 or 3.
It was a tough go for.
I haven't added mine up yet. I'm afraid.
Oh, don't be.
I'll wait till tomorrow.
Aren't you a big Jelly Roll guy?
Not really. The singer?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's you. You love Jelly Roll.
I am not okay.
I think he's fine.
I'm barely getting by.
Surprise, surprise.
It's kind of whatever.
I'm not a big
Jelly Roll guy.
Here's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
I like 3 songs.
Okay, that's fair.
Like if he's on television or something, it's not like I stop and I say, "Oh, what's he?" I'm not watching American Idol because he's coaching.
So the funny thing is, I sort of will ride with the story, like his whole thing.
Yeah, the reformed.
Yeah,
drug dealer.
like going through it, ended up in prison, like kind of figuring out his career late. Like I can appreciate that. I just don't love the music.
Yeah, Shane, you won't cut that up because this is actually a good rendition, but that's about as good a black person Jelly Roll as you're gonna get.
Have we tried having a Ginger sing it? Like, is that?
No, but they're in the group now.
They're invited to the cookout.
Although I'm telling you, I may not let Happer in though.
What do you do?
There's just too many tendencies. I want to bring him in the fold, but he's doing too much.
He's pretty quiet.
But you can't tell him that though, because it's like, hey man,
and he gets super upset. He's like, I went to Central.
That's the go-to.
It's like, okay, first of all, you transferred to Central from Millard North. So, having gone to Millard North in that era, I understand.
I'm like, what is going on? It's okay. We'll take it. The hard adoptee, though, would be Bish.
Yeah. Talk about what?
Yeah, but I don't know. In some weird way, he may be easier to bring into the fold.
I feel like he's very I feel like he'd be very appreciative.
I think Bish would make the easier transition before Happer.
Because Happer thinks he's cooler than he is?
Yeah, and he's so principled.
He is. Although it's not like Bishop is like famously easygoing.
Never, ever, ever.
Like
that's true.
He'll kind of stand on business.
But he's a little more battle tested. I take the experience.
So Headley says there's a 70 to 80% chance of surviving a helicopter crash. I don't believe that.
Who's doing those stats?
Yeah, I don't believe that. I'm gonna need like a peer reviewed study here because I don't.
I usually rock with him too. I don't know. That seems a little high.
That seems super high. Now maybe there's like some helicopter crashes that maybe it's like a confirmation bias. The only ones that make the news are the ones that kill people. So that could be it. But I don't hear a lot of like hot air balloon disasters is my point.
Yeah, I don't know. 78%?
70 to 80, which seems way too high. The reason I brought it up is I think you're not talking about surviving the crash. I think you're talking about the chances of something going wrong in general.
Yeah, I'm talking about like which one I'd be quicker to wet my pants over. Clearly, it would be the hot air balloon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to love kind of being out in the open.
Yeah, just exposed.
But if I'm talking about like my chances of dying, I feel like I'm better off in a hot air balloon.
Didn't fast forward to the morbid part.
I did immediately. I thought that's the only thing I thought we were talking about.
So I did.
You're just talking about general fear.
I did think about something when you talked about the height.
Yeah.
Where I do feel like I would feel, this is real dumb, but it's like ex-ambassadors. Like I feel like I would be a little more unsteady.
Good song.
In a helicopter. Because every time it's in a movie or something, they're either making these crazy turns or, there's this. That's great radio because people can't see what I'm.
It's more on the video. It's fine.
Yeah, it's like I'm patting Benny Hill on the head.
Doing a little turbulence.
As a hot air balloon seems to be a little smoother, a little less turbulent.
Yeah, you're floating. You're not like propelled, right?
Yeah, it's all terrifying.
Yeah, I don't want to do.
I don't even know how they got on that deal this morning.
I don't want to do any of it. To be clear,
I don't either.
David says, "I'll stay on the ground, thank you." Me too. Like if I have,
all things being equal,
I have the option,
100%. But as Canny kept saying, because he was mad because they kept trying to weasel out of the question.
Yeah.
And he did the thing where you don't really change the flexion in your voice; you just keep saying the same thing over and over.
Which would you choose?
You have to choose one. You have to choose one, which is by far and away way more annoying than somebody like being a little bit more animated.
Yeah.
The same tone guy.
Yeah, he'll get on your nerves.
Oh. Speaking of which, I was talking to Kugler yesterday forever. You talk about funny.
Oh yeah, that dude's great.
I wonder.
I don't even know.
I'm guessing he knows.
Yeah.
But the things that he says, I don't think are supposed to be near as funny as they are.
Oh, I don't know him, so like you would know better than I do. The sense that I get is he knows exactly
He's well
how
aware.
funny he is.
Yeah, I'm well aware.
Like he seems just so dry.
Yeah,
that he knows exactly how funny he is.
It's very funny.
So Headley has clarified you're around 5 times more likely to die in a helicopter than a hot air balloon.
So is he like?
I don't know if he's
a data guy. I usually rock with him. What?
So that makes sense to me. I think helicopters are way more fatal than hot air balloons. That would be my guess, just anecdotally. Although JG, I understand why he's choosing the helicopter now because he's crazy and wants to do all the tactical movements. So
not sure I want that guy working on my body. Like what?
He's a little more too much of a daredevil for you.
But aren't a lot of those guys and gals in that profession?
Yeah.
Have some high risk behaviors?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let's go paragliding.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Pass.
Paragliding selling.
Whatever it is. Pass.
Paragliding is different than parasailing, right?
Yes. I don't know the difference.
I don't even. So I don't. Clearly, you're not offended because of your irrational confidence. I don't always mean to look to Shane as though he would know and you wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's very instinctual as to get a second opinion.
Oh, okay.
I get this all the time.
Sure.
So sometimes I just do this. And I know Shane has like the most subtle of the shoulder shrugs. It's like.
And he's got a weird Rolodex, so sometimes he knows stuff.
I was like, why are you asking me? And I was like, because I could ask you how many granules are in a sugar packet, and you randomly may know it. But I could say
12,380.
Yeah, right. But I could say, who won the World Series in 2024? And I don't know.
I don't remember.
Which, by the way, go Jets.
JETS, Jets.
Yeah, Winnipeg. I mean, that'd
they
be fine.
They stomped a mud hole in them last night. You're so God, you're like Belgian. Why are you always waffling? Do you have a strong take on anything other than comic books and Michaels? I used to say that all the time. We have a defense called Chopper.
Yeah.
And for the life of me, when you coach 4-year-olds, nobody knew what that was from. And I would always say,
get to the chopper.
And they looked at me like I was
like, what's wrong with you?
Right around 75, 76 IQ.
So we've got
that special.
So Todd mentions at least it's over quickly in a helicopter. Hot air balloon feels like you'd be falling down for a long time.
Oh, there's our guy, SkyMax. He's got it.
Which would suck.
I just was rocking your T-shirt the other day, buddy.
Cornflicted says around 1.02 deaths per 100,000 flight hours.
Oh, Lord. Did he AI that?
In helicopters. Only 0.01 deaths per 100,000 flight hours in hot air balloons. So it's not a more prevalence issue. The rate of death is much higher, apparently, if Cornflicted is correct.
Are you right? So is it the more detail he gives, the more apt you are to think he's correct?
Yeah, I mean, that would be really weird stuff to just make up at that point.
Well, sometimes people do that to throw you off their scent.
It's entirely possible. I'm open to that possibility. But it confirms what I think, so I'm going to go with it because that's what we do in society now, right?
Yeah. Hey, so
that's the data I like, so it's true.
Where would I go? You data mining heads.
Take that for data.
At what point? What was Nebraska's lowest win percentage? Do you think during that game yesterday?
Oh gosh. So
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can go back and get it. People do it with like big games and stuff like that.
I don't know if they do it real time for college baseball. I know ESPN does it for some other stuff.
At what point did your attention waver?
Pretty early. Yeah, somewhere around like 5-0.
When did you feel like, oh, this could get interesting?
About 8-3.
Fourth inning.
Yeah, about midway through the fourth.
It was weird because when Kerry hit the first solo shot, I was like, hey, come on, guys. Need some juice.
Yeah, get a little back into it a little bit.
And then all of a sudden, Purdue forgot how to field.
Forgot how to do a lot of stuff on a baseball field that's useful to not losing.
And then all of a sudden, I was like, holy smokes, they're going to win this thing.
Yeah, after it got to 8-6, I was like, oh, they're going to win.
Yeah, I'm not even going to hold you. I thought when it was 8-0,
yeah,
I'm like, these guys are going to take me down to Saturday over whether they're going to get in or not.
Yep.
They're really going to do this.
Yeah.
But then
they decided to turn that thing around.
So, yeah, I never thought that.
Turn that car around.
Pardon?
That's a different thing. I wouldn't worry about it.
What is that from?
I believe it's, oh, man, what is that? Blue October. You would know him.
No.
Bishop would know him. Actually, Happer would know him.
Wow.
Well, Bishop's a little too old for the demographic.
Never, ever, ever.
I don't know. That dude knows a lot.
Not popular music. Not like modern popular music. This is probably, so Blue October was probably 10 years ago. It's not that modern. But I feel like Bishop is one of those guys.
He does have sons.
I know, but I feel like Bishop's one of those guys. Like, I stopped listening to music in 1984 when it stopped being good.
Yeah. I'm telling you, though, I don't know, man. I think I'd rock with JB.
As soon as David Lee Roth became the lead singer of Van Halen, I was out.
Because I don't like a lot of nonsense. So I think he would be good for and with me in public. Like, he would be a fantastic gatekeeper.
Okay.
And he's experienced.
I like John a lot.
He's not even that much older than me, but he's like, no, don't go that way. He would be a guy that would know that.
He's like a grizzled vet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you need one of those guys.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and Hap's got that irrational confidence. So I would probably more apt to die with Happer.
Oh, well, only if you listen to him. You can ignore a lot of it.
We could do just do no problem.
That's the key with Happer is just to understand quickly. Oh, that's nonsense. You gotta stop it.
No, I see. He's got you fooled. He truly believes.
No, I know, but I have to know it's nonsense. I know he believes it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know a lot of things I believe that you think are nonsense.
Yeah, I'm much more apt to have JB at the family get together.
Yeah, you're more likely.
I think
you are more likely to die with Happer, but you have to be able to discern the nonsense.
Bishop will eat more. Happer will try anything, but he's just strong in those takes. I'm like, oh no.
You're like, take a bite, I'm out.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I don't think we've got a win probability chart for that game.
It wasn't good, man.
I mean, at 8-0 in the going into the fourth, you're probably what at? I mean, you got to be north of 95%, right?
In college baseball in the fourth inning, that seems high.
I don't know, because they just go by previous game data, right? So how many times do people come back from a 8-0 deficit a third of the way through the game? Probably less than 5%. I mean, I would guess it's less than 5% of the time.
And on this rare occasion, I feel like you've made a decent point.
You know, I try every once in a while.
Don't.
Rico knows Happer is different. He worked with that dude for a long time. He knows.
I'm telling you, I'm way more apt to probably die with Happer than Bishop.
Yes.
What other redheads should I bring into the family?
I don't know a ton of other redheads. I forget that Happer and Bishop are. Like, I don't know. I just don't think about it. You know what I mean?
So the problem is I vastly discriminate against the ladies.
Oh, sure.
So I'm going to have to.
Just not your cup of tea.
Just have to integrate slowly.
Yeah. My friend's husband is a redhead.
Yeah,
my friend from high school. He's a cool dude.
I had a high school baseball teammate. Actually, he played at Creighton. Really good player, Tim Decker. Redhead. the other day at the funeral.
You'd like Matt. He's a smoker guy. Like he'll smoke meats and stuff and does the whole
I was
thing.
gonna say,
Yeah, big cigarette guy.
don't put that on me.
No, like
Somebody
he
asked me
built
if I
his
was
own smoker. Like
somebody asked me if I was high yesterday. I'm like, I don't even smoke.
It's not even like that.
Like I don't even like have like I don't know. I mean, I don't need to share, but like I wouldn't even drink those THC drinks.
Yeah, you don't do any of that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And I have a ding dong friend that we'll talk to here in the late hour. I'm just gonna get this out of the way because he's gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I called yesterday.
Okay.
Say you have to. I said, hey, what time do I have to call to get in the rotation? The boys are gonna leave Zoe's game early to go pick up the pizza. She doesn't get done until 7:15.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be eating at 8:15. Not little did I know we would be at the table till 9:30 anyway. But
Sure.
So I needed to call the cell number before I called, and I clearly know to order from the restaurant number.
Yeah.
He's lectured me about that before.
Don't call my cell phone to order pizza.
So apparently he sees my number on his cell phone, and he answers, and he said, "What's up, DICK head?"
Is that better or worse than the greeting we're going to get today? Is Richard Head worse than Effers?
I feel like the DICK head was worse because it's just me. Like I could want anything. I could be saying, "Hey man, how's your day?" Or do you need any dry? I could be saying anything.
Yeah, just a hostile way to open.
Yeah, it's just unnecessary. And it's like 1:45 in the day. Like, what are you mad about?
He's been making pizzas for a while at that point.
So anyway, don't let him fool. Don't the whole whiteboard thing and putting stuff up there that I called to. I just needed some detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle says my 2-year-old is a redhead. Take him.
Oh, is he bad? Is he naughty though? I don't need any more bad kids. Can you tell it too? They say the terrible twos. That's just because punk parents are afraid of discipline. Just beat a kid. Punch him in the spleen. It won't leave a mark.
That's good advice, DB.
I mean, he said, "No, he's pretty chill." Who's got the red in the family?
I'll say it's got to come from somewhere, right? One of them's got to have redhead.
Might be KB. We don't know.
Well, he probably would have said, "Hey, I'm a redhead. Take me."
He's a grown-up. He doesn't want to be adopted.
Well, to the cookout, I don't feel like you're adopting Happer or Bishop either.
If you're coming to the DB cookout, we might have to ask. He said milkman. It is weird how that allele works, but
you trying to get Bishop to be a dependent? Like, what's going on? Like, I was saying,
no, I would probably
adoption.
I'd probably go the other way. I would pick all the people that are fairly affluent, and I always ask them if they want to adopt me.
Yeah,
I'm a heck of a write-off.
I'm just saying, if you
see how my mom, I can't even get her to break me off.
I know she made all that derby money.
She's a trip. You should read her text. I don't want to put her on blast.
Well,
she's so kind. She's impossible to be mad at. I don't know about impossible, but it's very, very, very hard.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And she just rolls with the criticisms too. Like she can clap back real quick in like her own little way.
But she seems like very easygoing.
Yes, Operation Chill.
Headley says, I saw that the new thing is that gingers are black. Yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about, Headley.
Yeah.
It's a TikTok trend, apparently.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere. I don't really know where it happened, but it's a thing.
And I'm surprised. A lot of people that I want to send TikToks to, like, don't have TikTok.
Yeah.
And they aren't people that I would think would be staunch conspiracy tinfoil hat guys. But they just are not. And maybe they're not explaining it well, and they just don't want to, like, waste time like I do.
Yeah.
On TikTok. Because, Shane, that's what you're afraid of. But I think you're lying. I think you secretly have TikTok.
Shane's like, I don't want TikTok because that's all I would do is TikTok.
It's probably right there.
Well,
he probably would waste a lot of time on there. You
didn't just hear the little soliloquy a couple weeks ago about how he multitasks during games and likes to read and stuff?
That's true. Yeah, you could be on TikTok while you're listening to your hockey games.
Which I don't understand, but I mean, good on.
But how can you be listening to two things at once like that and take in the information
How
that
can
you want to take
read
in.
and take in other information?
I do like his.
Maybe-
I do like his explanation.
Maybe I just look at the pictures.
Are they penny? You guys get on me about Jen. This dude can't say P.
Yeah.
Etch
Pictures.
Like, did you learn blended consonants as a child, or were you
Blended what?
Did they do whole language? And did you skip over phonics in Iowa?
Get to the chopper!
Hooked on phonics works for me.
This dude said pictures.
Pitcher. Like starting or relief?
He explained it, though, because he's constantly busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always got to be doing something.
Buttons here, computer screen here, record there, shift this, volume. So you have a difficult time sitting still unless you're sleeping, right?
Right.
I think that makes sense.
I think so. Steven says, as a government contractor, he's not allowed to have TikTok.
But what he told us that before, but like, can't you do that thing where you say, it's not my opinions are my own, but like my account is my own? Like, you can't do that?
I think when you're on government contract, then there's some rules you have to follow in terms of national security stuff.
I feel about rules. Instagram greater than TikTok. SkyMex, I'm not going to hold you on that one. I like now Instagram Reels, but I am very, very, very new to Instagram.
So my only issue is the TikTok algorithm in terms of what I want to see is so much better.
Is it?
Yeah, I feel like it's very predictive of things that it thinks I'll like. And then it's like, oh, I didn't even know I wanted to see that.
Dude,
but
the Reels are kind of funny. Like, there's some.
Oh, I watch Reels too.
And sometimes, like, if somebody sends you one and you can just swipe up on IG, like, they're all funny. I was like, oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on
I feel
there.
like I don't need the tick of the talk.
Steven says he can have a separate phone as long as he doesn't cross-pollinate. So he could have TikTok on a different phone if he had one.
Cross-pollinate. Awful fancy.
You can't cross streams, you know.
So you cross up on
islands in the stream?
TikTok?
I don't know what you just said.
What'd you say?
Like you said you cross up or
what?
Swipe up.
Swipe up?
Yes.
I only swipe left, so.
That's your problem.
I mean,
it really is.
Not a lot of ladies banging down the door to go to Michael's on a Saturday. You know what I mean?
Hey, leave my little friend alone. Shane, you spend your downtime how you want to.
No judgment. No judgment.
Especially if it ends up eventually getting you up. You do what you want to do. You know, you want to go to Michael's and Hobby Lobby and
Nobby's was the place I was thinking about the other day. They don't exist.
Good morning again.
Go get you a little rice bowl from Pepper Jack's, man. You do your thing.
Why you go to Pepper Jack's to get a rice bowl, man? Come on.
I don't know, man. He used to be a Pepper Jack's guy.
Listen, I can ride with it, but I'm not getting a rice bowl.
I just made that up.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what Shane. What do you get when you go there?
If I get the rice bowl, I'm going to get it from up the street.
Oh, what? Because it lasts you how many days?
3 days.
Yeah. How many proteins?
3 servings.
There you go.
Yeah.
Got it measured out.
That's aggressive. Last you 3 days?
Oh yeah.
I mean, where can you go and spend $11 and eat for 3 days?
Nowhere. Not a single place in the world.
You need to expand your horizons.
You're saying God made you special.
I think you need to expand your palate a little bit, bud.
Dude, I told you about this dude's grocery shop.
If I was eating more, I would be expanding my waistline.
3 days. Wow. I just can't even wrap my mind around that.
It's wild.
It's
wild. I do have one thing to ask you, Shane, before. Do you want to set the lineup first?
Oh, sure, we can. If you'd like to.
He said I'm 6'3", 270 that last 3 minutes. Like, I don't even think you got to be that good size. Like,
no. Like, that's just, I can understand if you're, hey, it doesn't last. Like, it's too much for one meal, especially if he's doing the 3 meat option. But 3 days? That's crazy work.
Have you not heard the?
No, I know.
No. Now, this is amazing.
Oh, is this a new one?
Shane, the pre-wrapped sandwiches and the pre-wrap. Are you a wrap over sandwich guy? Or is it whatever's fresher?
Whatever's fresher, whatever I rotate through. I mean, I don't like doing the same one over and over. I got to rotate.
Yeah, switch it up a little bit.
Switch it up.
Honestly.
But I probably do the wrap more.
Okay, you go to the gas station.
Yes.
Okay, and you get a cellophane wrapped wrap. How many days are you going to eat that?
It comes in a plastic case.
Okay.
And it's
we're out on cellophane, right? It's
a half.
Carcinogen.
And it's divided in half, so that's 2 days worth.
For one gas station wrap? That's not even a whole meal, Shane.
Oh, I just heard myself. That's why the dude said I laugh like Muttley.
Who's Muttley?
I
Like crew?
talk about delay.
Yeah.
The
Somebody
dog?
said that to me like 3 weeks ago, and I didn't get it.
Oh, it's like the kind of the wheezing laugh.
Yeah, we don't. I have asthma. Easy.
I'm not like judging. I just was trying to clarify which one it was. Hey, my bad. I'm sorry for making fun of your medical condition.
I can't do it on cue now, but I just heard myself. That's what he.
You
Can I pet that dog?
can make a diabetes joke if it makes you feel better.
No.
I was trying to make it even. Even Stevens, like Cat.
Shane, who sings that song "Cruel Summer"?
Bananarama.
You're
Okay.
not the only one. It's a cruel, cruel Ravi.
I'm not cruel.
Straight Bobby Brown.
Coming up at 8 o'clock, Tim Verghese from Inside Nebraska. We'll talk to him 9 o'clock.
Trevor says, Shane, who hurt you?
We got Mike Sautter from Hurrdat.
I wish he was making it up.
From Hurrdat Sports NEBPreps.
Okay, so I add stuff to it. I might add some potato chips to it. I might add some gummy bears to it. I add something.
Time out.
Yeah.
You mean like
You're just throwing out random things. You don't really add
you don't put gummy bears on the sandwich, right?
No, but I have them with them.
Okay. It's like dessert.
I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't eat gummy bears with their sandwich?
Totally normal.
What?
I'm just throwing stuff out there that I like to add
Trevor,
with it.
this dude can spend 3 hours eating a 99-cent strip of smoked almonds.
I might throw some almonds with it.
At 9:45, we'll talk to Matt Vrzal from Piezon's, former Husker.
Wow.
What's up, fuckers?
Jeez.
That was a drop.
No, it wasn't.
I think
Good
that's how I know we touched a nerve. I apologize. I wasn't trying to go that hard.
Hey, buddy.
I can't believe you just said that.
That was aggressive.
What's wrong with saying what's up?
I think
Wow, just random.
I think it might be time to take a break.
Shane, you good?
You didn't like it when we talk about him.
Am I peeking? Am I a little flushed?
Caught me off guard there.
Get your shit together.
Okay, here we go.
Let's take a break here. Speaking of wild and out of kind of out of left field, this is a random story. I want you to think about two things. Oh, well, just one thing.
Why Shane just cussed at us?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm shook here. I want you to think about one thing over the break, and it's not going to make sense until we come back. But when you think of the name Rafael Furcal, what do you think of? Baseball attributes. What are the two attributes you think of with Rafael Furcal?
I don't know. He's a Dodger after being a Brave, which sucked. Then he was a Cardinal. He played about 2000 to 2014. He was a good player.
I mean, skill set. Two things from his skill set that you think of.
Slick fielder, switch hitter.
We'll get to it.
All
Coming
right.
up next here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I don't have the answer to that yet, just because I don't know what's going to happen after game one. And but yes, all our pitchers are ready to go. They're working. We had 2 of them going live yesterday against our hitters, just because they haven't been out there for a while. So it'll be interesting. I mean, Jordy's going to give us everything she has, but so are other pitchers. So I don't know yet, and I'm not trying to not give you the answer, but honestly I don't know. I've thought about it a lot.
I think probably just getting off to a better start early in games, and that's just getting, on the starting pitcher a little bit earlier. We've seen a lot of, the ballpark's played bigger here the last 2 weeks, and the fly balls are going nowhere, so that's just, you can't go to the plate trying to hit a ground ball either, because then that takes away some aggression. So I think just, we're not striking out, we're not, collecting a lot of consecutive really good at bats, and really that's going to be what it takes to get those crooked numbers early, because that's what you're seeing late in the games, right? 7th, 8th, 9th innings, we're putting together multiple really good at bats in a row to be able to set up some of these big innings.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you to keep those eyes focused and straight ahead. You've got one job as a driver. That's to drive. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. All right, I asked you a question about Rafael Furcal before the break here.
Yes.
And it probably seemed out of nowhere since he hasn't played in about, a decade. So I read a story yesterday about Rafael Furcal. There's a felony out for his arrest. And normally that wouldn't be funny, except for what the felony's for. So one of the things I think of with Rafael Furcal is that this dude had an absolute cannon at shortstop.
Yeah, he was
just a hose.
He was a little musclehead.
He was looked like he was about like Pocket Hercules, 5'6", like Shane size over there. Just
fire the laser,
unloading just
frozen ropes.
Rockets from shortstop, right? Apparently,
and the Rockets.
Regular. Whoa.
Yeah, he did have a hose.
So we're in territory with the Rockets red glare for one Rafael Furcal, because one of the things the felony he's out for is throwing a missile into someone's car. I didn't even
You just buy a missile?
That's what I'm so confused.
Throw it.
Throwing. I don't know if they're. I don't know if they've.
I need to know. I gotta Google. I need more context.
I looked. I couldn't find it. Maybe there's more up this morning.
Can you buy a missile? Did he have a launcher?
Here's what I'm trying. That's what I have so many questions, Steve.
If he had a launcher, he had to get the intended target.
But it specifically said throwing.
So maybe he does have a cannon.
He does. That's what I'm saying. He's got a rocket arm. Maybe he took it a little too literally in retirement.
I think I'm just gonna launch this cannon.
I don't understand. First of all, where did the missile come from?
They just buying those?
Do we just have a really loose term for fireworks? Maybe it was.
I mean, maybe.
Or I'm so confused about this story.
Yeah, he was yoked. 5'9", 195.
Yeah, that's pretty jacked up.
Yeah, I remember when that screw-up came over to the Dodgers.
Especially for
faces felony charges in South Florida for aggravated battery and throwing a missile.
That's all the information I could find.
I don't understand.
I don't either. And also, at what point, if you're...
Hey, I just want you to know your boy nailed the years, though.
Did you? 2014?
That's exactly when he played.
I'm impressed. That's good.
Started with the Atlanta Braves in 2000. Ended his career with the Miami Marlins in 2014.
That's pretty good. I forgot that he played for the Marlins. I didn't remember
DB.
that. I remember him as a Brave and as a Dodger.
I do need more though.
I need more information about
I
this.
do need more.
Like, I'm fascinated.
No, nobody throws that hard. Into public or private dwelling.
Or vehicle.
Court records did enlist a defense attorney for Furcal. His former agent, Paul Kinzer, declined comment on the charges and did not provide a way to reach Furcal directly. So dudes can throw rockets, but you can't find out where he is? But they didn't immediately release details about what led to the criminal charges.
So some of our legal experts in the chat here, none of them which are TK, so I'm not sure if I buy him. But
TK may be on the treadmill.
No, he chopped in, or he hopped in earlier.
Oh, he chopped in or hopped in?
Chopped in, you know. Well, Braves chopped in, tomahawk.
Get to the chop.
Get to they're saying that legally a missile's anything that you throw airborne, which I don't know if that's true.
So,
like he could have thrown a potato and that would have been called a missile, which I don't necessarily. That seems like real.
There are times like walking to the parking lot, I've often wanted to hum a rock at you.
Don't
Would
do that.
Do they mean projectile or missile? Because a projectile is anything that travels through the air at a certain rate of speed.
But
right?
they very specifically. Oh, Ken's an attorney too. Okay, so Ken says.
Wait, Ken E?
Yeah, that's what he said. He says, I'm a licensed attorney. I didn't know this. I'm learning new information about Kenny.
Shoot.
Not Kenny, Ken E.
I may need him.
Yeah, don't throw a rock at me. That's mean.
No, I said I've thought about it.
Well, yeah, don't actually do it.
No, I won't.
But I guess under this definition, you'd get the felony charge for projectiling a missile at me.
Yeah, I don't understand. Does it have to travel at a certain rate of speed to get to missile status?
Yeah, like do you have to crack 80 miles an hour with it?
Yeah. I mean, the only person that could do that is between the two of us is you, obviously.
No, I can't throw 80.
Throwing heaters off the mound.
I can't throw 80.
Mr. 12-6 curveball.
I could throw a ball that breaks. That's all I said. That's all I ever said.
That, like, that will never get old. It's one of those things, and believe me, like I like Nickelback, that thing is just going to grow legs.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm saying I could throw a curveball.
Ravi, Greg Olson, same person.
That's exactly what I said.
I mean, well, how do you think I feel? Do you think I really killed someone? No, I didn't. Sometimes it just takes on a life of its own. You never know.
So apparently Todd got into the Reddit of it all, and he says it was a large rock.
Had to be.
Large rock. Defending himself from a trucker who attacked him with a knife. How'd he end up with the charges then?
Maybe they have yet to, it could be like Scotty Scheffler.
Oh, yeah, maybe
there's a lot more out there.
We're out here, right?
The trucker had a knife. Cutting is big lately. Are guns harder to come by?
I don't know, but you're a big cutter. You've said, okay, I'm not mischaracterizing. You've said multiple times.
You can't say it like that. No, I'm not. It's not like, like a pyro, like I have a fixation with cutting. I said,
if you were to kill someone.
No, that's not my first choice.
Okay.
Given the two options.
Of a gun or a knife.
Yes, I said I'm picking the knife.
Because it's more personal.
Yes, it's not a cutter. It's not my preferred choice.
You do realize that your reasoning behind it is more concerning than the fact that you want to kill somebody. Or that you could potentially kill somebody.
I disagree. You're not going to paint me with that brush. Because
you want the murder to be more personal.
I do, because if you get me to that point, you've probably hurt somebody that I care about.
Okay.
Because I'm not just mad enough to like lose that kind of control.
Sure.
And I will have probably thought about it. So
Okay.
if I'm gonna put in the time to think about it,
if you're gonna put in the effort, you want.
I'm gonna do it the way that I want to. You laugh, but it's totally my personality. Anything that I'm going to do, if I'm gonna earn the consequence, I'm gonna maximize the opportunity.
I laugh because it actually makes sense. Like that's why I laugh.
That's why you love me.
Like it's nuts, but I'm like, yeah, I actually get it.
Yeah.
It's funnier just to say.
It's like you're not gonna go out like Willie Lump over something. Well, I accidentally hit him with my vehicle because if I'm gonna hit somebody with a vehicle, I'm gassing and gunning that thing.
You might be more efficient with a missile, though.
I knew it had to be a projectile.
Yeah,
you can't because
I had never heard that before.
And I know you didn't get the Lamar. Did you ever Google Lamar Latrell javelin? You need to.
No, I didn't.
Like, did he just like like traipse up there with the launcher and be like, because you have to. It has to be lit.
Yeah. That's why I thought maybe like a firework or something.
Now, I will
what
say
mean?
with that guy, he did have a cannon.
Dude, if
he launches some sort of rock,
you're in trouble. You're in trouble. That dude had a gun.
I wonder if it was road rage.
Not literally.
He said maybe they threw it so fast they had to call. See, you laugh, but that's what I said. Like if you reach a certain rate of speed,
yeah,
does it go from projectile to missile? I've never seen missile in writing, but I have seen projectile.
Yeah, so have I. That's why I was confused. I read a lot of random reports about guys getting arrested for stuff because it happens in sports a lot.
You're weird.
No, when somebody gets arrested that I've heard of, I'm like, all right, I got to figure out what happened here. I got to figure out if Scotty Scheffler threw a missile at the guy at the golf course.
How about that knockdown drag out? God, we've had some famous
or
ones.
If the Louisville PD was just out here wilding again. Turns out they were. But yeah, I had never seen like missile like that. That's the first time I'd ever seen missile used in that context. Maybe people just don't throw rocks a lot.
Rafael Furcal, though.
It's random.
Alive and kicking.
Well, I'm alive and throwing, apparently.
I did not want him to come over to Los Angeles.
You weren't a big Rafael Furcal guy?
Uh-uh.
I liked it when he...
I don't want any Braves.
Why do you hate the Braves so much?
Dude, you know how hard... Shane, you remember the mini meltdown I had over Freddie Freeman? Now, in my defense, in acquiring Freddie Freeman, the same guy that I ran around a hotel floor for and was...
After the Grand Slam?
Yes. And was hoping... I'm like, damn, glad there's only players on this floor. Because I was exceptionally loud.
You're a little extra that day?
That night, well into like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, just watching Kirk Gibson highlights. I remember that day vividly. Only to get our doors blown off the very next day. But anyway.
Who won that series?
No, it's Bloomington. The game.
Oh, I thought you meant Indiana. I thought you meant the Dodgers. I was like, you won the World Series, man.
Yeah,
Chill.
but that
no, the next day.
Yeah,
less fun.
The euphoria wore off quickly
in a hurry.
Probably after like the third drive.
You're like, oh, this might not go our way.
But he didn't originally want to be a Dodger.
Furcal or Freeman?
Freeman.
Yeah, Freeman wanted to stay.
He wanted to stay and was very animate about that. So I'm like, all right, agent, you didn't get the deal done. We had a little snafu. He's all of a sudden going to be a Dodger and he doesn't want to be here. Great. I don't want you either. Tell me that. What says my person?
No, that's 100%. I mean, just always mad when your team acquires great players.
No, not that part. Shane, drop that F word on him again. That's what he's being right now.
Don't. Can you guess? This would be right up your alley.
What?
Do you know Rafael Furcal's career batting average?
278.
How far off do you think you are?
2 points.
3. 281. That damn DB. We're going to talk to Tim Verghese coming up
going to the
year.
Olympics now. You see this?
All right, Carlos. We're going to talk to Tim Verghese coming up next.
I think this year definitely I try to be more of a voice to the guys, you know, being a senior and having a lot of experience with college baseball. It definitely helps out a lot of guys that are, you know, kind of newer in the game. So I think definitely being more of a voice this year than I was last year has definitely been something that I tried to improve on this year. So
has that been difficult for you?
You know, trying to just step out of your comfort zone a little bit is definitely something, I wouldn't say new, but it's definitely something a little difficult. But you know, being with all these guys, you're all brothers, so it's just like you can say whatever you want. No one's gonna hate you. No one's gonna have disrespect for you. Everyone kind of knows that whatever you're saying, it definitely means something. So it was definitely a change that I had to work on. So.
This team's in a really good spot. We have a lot of leadership across the board on this team, but I think it's just like reassuring the team that we are ready. Having been there, knowing like what it takes. I know that this team has that, so it's just reassuring every day. Like we had a great practice today, like we're ready to go. Like if we've ever been ready at any point in the season, it's now. So I think just that.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We're joined now by Tim Verghese from Inside Nebraska. What's up, Tim?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Tim, how we doing, buddy?
Hey, not too bad. Not too bad. How about yourself?
All right, good. I was a week early on my question of who's going to be this year's we should have got him comparison guy. I said Darian Jones, but apparently it's going to be Jett Thomalla. It's a week early. It's like so weird. Like we get the offer from Bama, and all of a sudden, how'd the old message board take it? TV, was it like, are we making comparisons yet? Like, what's the chatter? So you've only had about 18 hours to digest it.
Yeah, I mean, we started to see some of it too when Ohio State showed some interest. They saw him throw. I still could see Ohio State offering. They don't have a 26 quarterback yet. They've done this before where, they land their guy the cycle. They landed Tavian St. Clair last year. They land their guy in a cycle before and allows them to kind of take a swing the next cycle. They did it with Lincoln Kienholz a couple years ago, and now, they have a chance to do this again in 2026. But yeah, I mean, the reaction around here is it's just kind of just not confusion. I don't know. It's weird because it's like, again, like objectively looking at the tape, Thomalla has more production than Dayton Raiola. Thomalla has, probably more encouraging long-term traits than Raiola. But I think there's also just a general understanding of, okay, well, 2026, Nebraska, took Dayton. That's kind of what they're doing. 27 is ultimately the cycle. They have to address quarterback, and they did that. I think if Nebraska didn't have Trey Taylor committed, I think you'd see people a little more up in arms about what's happening right now. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where, I mean, if these offers continue to pile up, it's going to be one of those things where, people in the state are going to start looking around and being like, okay, I mean, is Nebraska going to like show interest, or are they just going to be fine with this guy leaving the state?
I hope we get this out of our system soon, because as Braylon Warren continues to rack them up and there's the 2-year gap between the two, I'm just hoping Nebraska football wins enough games at the quarterback spot, because the offers are only going to continue to stack for these guys.
Right, absolutely. I mean, with Braylon too, it's like the run is already happening for him. And again, if you saw him in the fall, you knew this was coming. Like this,
I mean, he just bagged 2 more. He just bagged 2 more yesterday.
Yeah, Michigan State and who else?
Yeah.
I almost said Oregon, and it's not Oregon. Michigan
It was
State.
Virginia, Cal, and then Michigan State.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So how about that?
Yeah. So I just, Tim, I kind of looked at it, and I'll be honest, I was high on Jett Thomalla last year, and before he really had the offers or anything like that. But I understood even at the time, okay, you obviously have Dylan Raiola as in his class in 24. You get TJ Lateef in 25. You've got Trey Taylor in 27, which I understand is recent. Like, it always sort of seemed like to me 26 quarterback wasn't necessarily going to be the most high profile priority. Like, I don't, how much of that, I know you kind of talked about the way Ohio State staggers their quarterbacks, but I don't know. It just really, I'm happy for Jett. It doesn't really bother me for Nebraska.
Right, and I understand that too, because I mean, also, like, I think zooming out and understanding the timeline of all these QBs is important too. Like with Dylan, Nebraska got Dylan for at least 2 more seasons, maybe 3. And then behind him, you've got TJ Lateef developing in the background. And TJ is a little further ahead than expected, can probably play some games by year 2 if he needed to. Probably wouldn't have to, but if he needed to, could. You've got Marcus Davila. That's your, like, okay, this is the guy we can stash, we can develop, we can really work on. It's Dana's guy. And then you've got Trey, who in 27, We'll see how he physically develops in high school, but likely needs a year of physical development before he's ready to play at the college level. And so when you take all that into account, and like when Trey's coming in, when the next time Nebraska is going to have a QB battle is at the earliest 2027, and I don't think Jett Thomalla is going to be ready by 2027. I think Jett Thomalla is a very talented quarterback. I think he's got like legitimately elite upside traits. I think there's a lot you love on his tape, but I think he's a guy that for the Big Ten and for the SEC level specifically is going to need some time to develop. I think Alabama understands that. I don't think Alabama offered with the intention of that guy's going to come in and start within the first 2 years. They're long-term starters on campus. It's Keelan Russell, the guy they landed last cycle out of Duncanville, Texas.
So speaking of a week early, level of surprise that Ja'Cory Smith already committed to Oklahoma?
It's not necessarily surprising just because they were the team with the momentum, but I'm surprised he didn't give Nebraska the chance. I thought Ravi did a really good job this spring of getting Nebraska in the mix. He just went down and visited him at Bryant. That visit went really well. He's a fan of Dvorak. Nebraska this cycle has, outside of Jordan Campbell, really had trouble getting some of these linebacker targets on not trouble, but really had Dvorak does a really good job building relationships. Like Smith was one where he talked about how strong the relationship with Dvorak was. Tank King down in Texas, one of the top linebackers out of the state of Texas, has raved about just his relationship with Dvorak. Every chance I've been able to talk to him, and he just hasn't made it to campus yet, and I don't think he will. He's going to make official visits in June. He's probably going to end up at Texas A&M or Texas or Notre Dame. I think those are the three for him, really. But like, Nebraska's done a good job of building these relationships, but not getting them on campus is an issue. And now you're looking at a point where, okay, at this point you've got Jace Reynolds committed, but it's kind of Jordan Campbell or bust at the linebacker position.
Tim, not to rewind it too much here, but you mentioned Trey Taylor a couple times there, and I was talking to a friend of mine in Illinois. Do you know kind of the backstory on sort of, it seems like there's some bad blood and some drama between the Taylor camp and Bielema and Illinois camp? Do you know what's going on there at all?
I mean, part of it is the commitment, but like the way that was handled. But prior to that, I don't believe there was anything. As far as I know, I don't believe there was anything. I mean, again, Illinois visited, like Arthur Sikowski visited.
The low-hanging fruit is to make it about the NIL offer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I think there's some like, okay, we invested a lot of resources in trying to keep you home. We have some momentum with in-state guys and part of that. But I mean, again, literally the day before he committed, Illinois was putting in like legitimate effort. So I don't think there was anything like there, but I do think moving forward, I don't think Trey Taylor in Illinois is like a thing. Like, like people had talked about after that commitment of, oh, you never know what's going to happen, Trey. Why would you do that? Like, Illinois, like, Nebraska, something could happen. You could want to come back to Illinois. That's probably not happening. At this point, that's probably not happening.
I just got some news yesterday on an international product that's north of the border. He's just a pup, though. But not to be one up by a little Sweden background. What do we think about Nebraska adding to the D-line room and broadening their horizons on body types and styles?
Yeah, I mean, Son's one of my favorite defensive linemen in this 26 class. I've been on him for a while, so I like, just for some context, I at one point I nearly took a job with Brandon Collier to go work international, like go work in Europe and just scout. And it just ultimately didn't work out. But we've maintained a relationship for a while. I really was kind of in on Son for a while. Just because that was like the guy for him. He kept, that was he's had a bunch of guys at this point come through the college ranks, but Son was the one that was like, whoa, like that like this is a future 5-star type player. And then he came to the United States. There was a little confusion on his age. Just a little, kind of this and that on him. We saw him at the All-American Bowl in January and he dominated, like legit 6'5", or maybe like a shade under 6'5", 320 pounds, but he carries it incredibly well. He looks like he's 270, 280. and he's just super powerful. Plays with a really good motor, has a footwork where you can tell he's got a soccer background and did some karate and martial arts. Plays with good contact, like just general balance. Nebraska is making this a real fight. I got word, let's say about a month and a half ago, that this is essentially going to come down to Florida, Oklahoma, and Nebraska. And he just announced the top 8, but I do think it's going to come down to those 3. I think if anyone in that top 8 has a chance to surge, it's going to be USC or Texas, but I do think it's going to come down to those 3. Florida, for me, has the edge, but I mean, the effort Nebraska's put in these last few weeks, especially since Terry Braden's taken over this recruitment, I think he's going to give Nebraska a really good shot. Braden went by to visit him at St. George. EJ Bartel went by to visit him at St. George yesterday, while, Braden went over to Sweden to go meet with his mom. And again, as far as I can recall, this is the first time Nebraska's gone to Europe for like an in-home visit.
Yeah. Tim, so you mentioned him playing soccer there, and it kind of got me thinking, and I apologize if I've asked you this question before. I don't think I have. We were talking to some of our athletic testing guys last week about like multi-sport athletes and things like that. And then you mentioned a defensive lineman playing soccer, and I think of Ndamukong Suh. Is there, when you're kind of evaluating these guys, is there a particular sport that if a guy plays that you're intrigued by, and does it vary by position?
It very much varies by position. For me, like quarterback, I like to know that if there's a baseball background in there, on both sides of the line. I like to know if you're wrestling. I like to know, some guys it's unique. I mean, with international guys, you often see soccer in their background just because everyone internationally plays soccer. But it's really that. And then at wide receiver, cornerback, I kind of like a basketball background. I like track, of course, with all of those skill positions as well. But yeah, I think it depends on position. Soccer isn't one like I'm like immediately stamping if I see it, but it's a good thing to have, especially for big bodies, just because it helps me like recognize that, okay, you've got footwork, you've got light feet, you kind of know what you're doing in that. I mean, unless you're like a goalie, of course, but for the most part, you've got good footwork if you're playing soccer at a young age.
TV, let me ask you something. What do you think? You spent some time, you've covered multiple schools, right? And you're familiar with the state of Texas as a whole, and we've seen Sark do it. We've seen Kiffin do it at Ole Miss. Lanning is attempting to do the same thing at Oregon. Are there traits, or is there something about the culture that allows certain schools to stockpile quarterbacks more than others?
It really just comes down to success and a tradition of success. Like, I think you're seeing Nebraska kind of starting to do that as well. And
quietly, they're on to something.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I was just telling somebody the other day. I was like, okay, let's say, it does come down to success with Sark. It's just every quarterback wants to play in that offense. You listen to the way offensive coordinators at the high school position and QB coaches and everybody talks about Sark's offenses and Lane's offense. They're all very QB friendly. Lincoln Riley, at one point had the same thing. I think he just needs a bounce back year to kind of reclaim that, this is the tradition that he's had at the end, his reputation as a QB developer. But it really just comes down to that. Can you produce high level quarterbacks? And like, okay, hey, like Nebraska, for example, just getting Dylan Raiola saw a bunch of elite quarterbacks suddenly be like, okay, well, what does Nebraska have to offer that Dylan, made this decision? And then TJ made that decision. And then it was like, okay, well, what does Nebraska offer that 2 quarterbacks in a row made this decision? And then so Trey Taylor's now giving Nebraska a harder look. And then Nebraska lands Trey Taylor. And so now you're seeing 27 elite targets outside of the QB position being like, okay, well, what does Nebraska have to offer? If Dylan Raiola has the fall that we think he can have, like he takes another significant step forward and is one of the better quarterbacks in the Big Ten, Nebraska's already in on some top 28 quarterbacks. It wouldn't surprise me if it's like, oh, why is Jaden Wade the number 1 quarterback in the class of 28? Why is he on Nebraska's campus in spring? Why is this happen? Like, that's what's going to start to happen, because all of a sudden you've got guys being like, okay, well, Nebraska's doing something right at the quarterback position.
So speaking of the quarterback position, and you mentioned Sark, and so I go Arch Manning, and then I think of Lenore Sellers, I think of DJ Lagway, and I think of Dylan Raiola. Out of those 4 guys, and feel free to add in another one if you want, of guys that are sort of projected to take a big jump this year, who do you like the best out of that group? And I guess how much of that has to do with the skill set you believe in versus the system that they're in.
Can you run through is it Lagway, Manning, Sellers,
And-
Raiola?
Yep. If there's anybody else
Okay.
you want to throw in there too, that we haven't really seen a full proven track record yet, but we're projecting a little bit on.
I think it's those four for the most part. The other one I would maybe throw in there is Dante Moore at Oregon, because I'm just really intrigued to see what he does out there.
I think you got to go to Washington.
With Damon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, but
I think I don't know, man. I'm telling you, you guys gonna be pretty good.
yeah, I agree. But I mean, of those four, and even just kind of throwing Dante in there too, I think just true traits alone at the very top, it's Arch and DJ. Like, and Dylan's right there with Lenoris, in my opinion. I think where you're picking and choosing with Dylan and Lenoris is I think a lot, like, has a lot more upside as a runner and has like a little more just general body athleticism. But Dylan's much further along as a passer.
He's been more dynamic than Lagway too, in my opinion.
Yes, and that's where I'm at right now. And again, like I know people around here, like I think it's become this like weird, like they've pushed DJ Lagway and Dylan Raiola against each other, and me saying DJ over Dylan might ruffle some feathers. Again, I saw DJ from since he was like in 8th grade. Like I've watched him his entire high school career. Like I am so in on that long-term potential. The shoulder thing this spring really bothered me. I didn't love. I think long-term it may be better for him. It sounds like the family has a plan in place and the school has a plan for him. They just wanted to rest him so he could fully heal. But it did bother me a little bit. But yeah, I mean, as a thrower, he's got all of the upside in the world. He's like got that physical running style you look for, can create with his legs, can produce at a very, very high level, and is much further along than I think people think. Like that's where I'm at with these four. Arch is the best in rhythm, the best processor of these four. DJ has probably the best long-term upside. Right now is just a thrower of the football. I think Dylan Raiola is the best of the four. And in terms of like, okay, well, what the heck could this guy be, with, 2 significant steps forward? It's Lenoris Sellers, because Lenoris puts it together this year and then lands in a spot in the NFL where, he's got a good developer. I mean, Lenoris is like, I think he's the one where like the untapped potential for me is really, really intriguing. But yeah, right now I think it's Arch and DJ at the top, Dylan right there, and then Lenoris probably 4, just because of the 4, I think Lenoris is the most raw right now.
Of what you know about these 2 quarterbacks, you take Altmaier or Mendoza?
You love Mendoza.
I don't love him. I'm interested in the transition from Cal because I think they had a good staff.
Yeah.
I think at the college level, if you're looking for a college quarterback, it's Altmaier. But if you're looking for an NFL quarterback, it's Mendoza.
And he's 6'5". He's like 220.
He's
Mendoza.
a tank. He's a tank. You guys know where he's from, right? Like he's like, I don't know how Miami let him leave the city.
Yeah, he's from Christopher Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they let him leave the city.
Cal was his only major offer, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's
from. He was a Ivy League guy until Cal came in late. That's I'm thinking of the right guy.
That's pretty much what it was. Yeah.
That's wild.
Tim, you have a couple sleepers in the Big Ten. I want to get out ahead of this because I don't. June and July is when we start having these conversations. I kind of want to get out ahead so we don't have revisionist history. Are there some teams that you think, man, I kind of like how they put together the roster, flying under the radar a little bit, that you like maybe more than some of the national prognosticators?
Yeah.
I'll give you an eye roll because they always come up, but I do like what he's built. And I get it because they were the hot topic last year. Rutgers, to me, are they like the Miami's back eye roll sleeper team, or do you think they're a legit dark horse?
I'm not as well versed on this coming year's Rutgers team as I was on last year's team. It wouldn't surprise me if we were a year ahead on the like, oh, this could be the, I mean, this could be the year Rutgers kind of takes a step forward. But
They got whacked
and
by
for the, like, I think, in all honesty, they just got bit by the injury bug. Like, they just had guys fall through fall camp and into September, like where it was October and it was like, oh, these guys just aren't healthy enough. Like, that defense was just stripped. But
What about
that
Minnesota?
wouldn't surprise me. Minnesota's the one. Minnesota's the one for me where I'm like, I think
that's my pick too.
yeah. The other week, y'all had that discussion of like who's that like fourth team in the Big Ten. It kind of wouldn't surprise me if Minnesota makes that run and puts himself in that contention. I like what they've built. I think Coy Parrish is like he's not Caleb Downs, but I think he's one of the better DBs in the country, and I think they're going to have him playing both ways.
They do a good job with DBs too, man. And now that Danny
and he's a rising tide type player, like a rising tide that lifts everybody up. A rising, I don't even know how that phrase goes, but he's that type of guy that can lift everybody else up. I like Darius Taylor at the running back position. Like I like what they've done. I like the roster. I think receivers probably my only question for them. I think they need to hit on some of including Malachi Coleman. I think they need to hit on some of these guys they brought in. They did bring in
spring.
Wait, say that again?
Yeah, they had to shut Malachi down in the spring.
Oof. That's not great.
No, that's not.
Yeah. So if you like Minnesota, you are a little unsure on Rutgers, but you think if they're...
I got another one.
Oh, go ahead.
You got one?
No, go ahead.
What do you think about UCLA?
Yeah, I don't know if UCLA makes the big jump this year, but I think they probably get a bowl game at the very least. I think they win 7-8. Like I think they especially down the stretch, because they last year they came on strong by the end of the season. Like it was one of those things where, okay, early in the year it's like, oh, everyone's going to beat up on this team, and then by the end of the year it was like, oh, they're pushing some teams, and then I think that's going to happen this year too, and I think that's going to be elevated by the fact that I think as Nico gets his feet under him and as Nico gets more comfortable, by November it's like, okay, well, Nico is the best quarterback in some of these games. He's the best player on the field in some of these games, and just like I think Dylan's going to be come November in some of these games. Like that's a quarterback is ultimately the position you look at, and I like what UCLA has done in addressing some of their needs and building up that roster to a point where they can compete in the Big Ten. Again, they're not going to I don't think they're pushing for that fourth spot in the Big Ten or anything. But yeah, I mean, 7-8 games is very much on the table. 7-8 wins is on the table for them.
I need somebody. This is a black couch moment, right? That we're in the tree of trust. I can just admit things freely. I'm traumatized about being in Pasadena, having been benched there. I hate the stadium. So that's part of me not wanting UCLA to be good. But the other thing is I kind of want the Nico thing to fall. I want them to fall on their faces over how it was handled. And so anytime I'm being kind of ill-willed and petty, like karma catches up with me and I'm like, wow, these guys are going to be good. And I got to go to that game on the road. I'm like, but don't be good. No, anyway, I got that off my chest now. It's personal.
You feel better?
Yeah, I do. Let me give you another. Let's go to the other quarterback down the street, just across the street from the gated community of Watts. How you feel about Maivia and Lincoln Riley? They've done a really good job. He's recruiting his tail off in 2026, and it's bugging me that we're kind of leaving him for dead. SC seems dangerous to me, even with all the portal talent that left. He restocked it seemingly in a hurry.
He did. My concern with USC this year is the skill positions.
Okay.
They've done a good job.
You can't lose a Branch and a Robinson, and
right. The thing is, it wasn't just Branson Robinson. It was Kyron Ware Hudson. Like that, they decimated the running back room through just guys graduating and moving on. Like that been the thing with Lincoln Riley, even dating back to Oklahoma. Is he always had good quarterback play, but they also had like talented players around, like future NFL talent around him. And I see future NFL talent on like the offensive line, but like the room just isn't what it was, and the wide receiver room isn't what it was. I'm not super like encouraged by the running back room. I mean, Quentin Joyner transferred out too. Like that was their spark plug at one point, and so that's my concern with them. I think the defense is going to take a significant step forward. I think they've done a really good job addressing their needs there. But yeah, my concern and what's keeping me hesitant, because I do think a full offseason, just like a full offseason between Dana Holgorsen and Dylan Raiola will be good. I think a full offseason of Jaden and Lincoln Riley, and where Jaden's, okay, I'm QB1, I'm the guy. I think that's going to be beneficial for both parties. But I mean, of the quarterbacks Lincoln's had over the years, Jaden's what? The second? Where would you rank him? Like Miller Moss is probably the worst, and then he's right above Miller Moss, arguably.
He's either worst or second worst.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any question about that.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, even again, Oklahoma, like Caleb Williams had, NFL receiver, like a couple NFL, like future NFL type guys he was throwing to. Kyler had the same, Baker had the same, like those Jalen Hurts had the same. Like, I don't love the skill positions. And maybe I'm missing somebody. Maybe I'm just
Spencer Rattler. Maybe if you don't like Spencer Rattler.
But I thought Spencer Rattler, especially at the college level, was a really good throw over the football. Like, I think it just ultimately came down to you just had a much better guy in Caleb Williams on the bench. But yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Coincidentally, both those guys are on pro rosters.
Yeah, no, it's
right,
fair.
and one was the top pick, so ain't bad.
Right. Yeah. Like, okay. Like, I'll say this. Like, I think Jacoby Lane is probably. I did forget Jacoby Lane's still there, but Jacoby Lane, like, is a guy that I know NFL teams are like, this could be wide receiver 1 next year, and that's great. But and like, it's like Corey Sims, the freshman that Nebraska was battling for last cycle. Like, that's the guy. He's like on the 2D, right? Like. I just don't love the depth right now at receiver compared to previous years.
Okay, so Tim, let me ask you this, because we were talking about kind of the pecking order of things in the Big Ten this year. We've left out some teams that I think are, I mean, we keep forgetting about Iowa. Don't really know what. Okay, so we've got Iowa.
I like Gronkowski. I'm curious to see the jump.
I want to hear your thoughts between Iowa, Washington, Michigan State, and Wisconsin. Who do you think out of that group are you most confident in based on what you saw last year and what they've got going into this year?
Washington.
I like
Washington. Damon Williams, Denzel Boston, Jett Williams is just a good football coach.
Listen to what I'm telling you. He's a stud.
Mm-hmm.
That little dude is good.
He's little.
Yeah.
He's little.
Yeah. Have y'all watched Denzel Boston?
I'd take Damon over or Dante Moore.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Like I'm very excited to see what Dante does at Oregon. I love Dante,
I'm hoping I'm dead right about that, because if he's good,
might have to eat some crow.
Well, I haven't hated on him.
No.
I don't want to see Oregon.
Yeah,
I give me a transition here, man. Lanning's momentum is really wearing me out.
No, Dante's fun. I saw him in 7-on-7 a couple times, and I kept telling, like, I used to tell like national evaluators who were like, I just don't love the frame. I don't love this. I was like, go stand behind him in 7-on-7. He's the most accurate quarterback I've ever seen. I've ever been around. The ball placement and the touch he throws with is incredible. And from what I'm hearing from, like, again, the Oregon side of things, how he was practicing in the spring, like, he's back to that form. Like, UCLA was a bit like, I didn't get the decision going to UCLA in the first place. I like the decision to go to Oregon, sit for a year, develop. He's going to be good, man. Like, I'm just kind of in on Dante Moore. Like, the Big Ten's going to be the quarterback division this year, I think. It's going to be the division. Like, yeah.
I'd like to think we're probably one of the few that have spent like 2 months finding new ways to break down the quarterback play. Like, we've been doing this since February.
Yeah.
Because, Tim, I agree with you. Like, the quarterback play could be really good. And I'm trying to figure out where Nebraska's going to break ground if they're going to make that move. Like, we need Maived to not be good. You need Gronkowski to not be good.
To struggle with the transition, yeah.
If Dante Moore's, or if he's good, like, I like Minnesota's quarterback. I like Rutgers at the quarterback spot. Unfortunately, I like UCLA's talent at the court. They're going to figure out a way to play to his strengths, right? So I'm not saying he's going to be Jalen Hurts. I'm just like the quarterback,
and that's the thing, like the
quarterback spot in the middle of the big. I need a paper towel over what's happening in Washington. Like,
Mhm.
I think the quarterback, as a conference, the quarterback position is at a high level.
Okay, let me before you answer there, Tim. So you ask where Nebraska is going to break ground, though, right? So out of those guys, there's a lot of guys that we like. There's a lot of guys that have been productive at either other places or where they're at. But what we're really talking about here is that Dylan has the talent to outperform most, if not all, those guys, right? Like that's where at the quarterback spot, at least, we say, hey, if the
and I'm not projecting he'll be better. I'm just saying we better understand full well what we're dealing with when we project quarterback play in this league. If Dylan is good and he surpasses these guys, that would be. It's not like beating me out or you or Shane. Like
you're beating out real dudes.
These are real dudes.
Yeah, it's not like being the best, like one of the top 5 quarterbacks in like 2013 Big Ten. You know, it's being one of the best quarterbacks in a division that's probably going to produce 6 to 7, maybe more NFL quarterbacks potentially. Like just on physical. I mean, okay, like again, there's so many different ways you could look at it. Like if you just wanted to win a college game and you had your pick of any Big Ten quarterback, I think there's a few names you potentially take over Dylan Raiola right now. But if you're looking at, okay, who can I take and over the next 2 years develop and I think is going to be the best at the end of these 2 years, I think the only quarterback outside of Dylan in the conference you would maybe take is Nico. Yeah. Just off physical tools alone, off physical traits alone. But like, you know, I think Julian Sain's going to be really good. I think, but that's the thing. Like,
we just assume whoever takes snaps in Columbus is going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I think Sain's going to be good. I think Dante, but I think Sain and Dante Moore are going to be guys where it's like, okay, they're effective college quarterbacks. They're getting the ball like out accurately and in timing. But this year, I don't know if either of those guys are going to be okay. They're elevating the team level good. I could see Dylan taking that step forward just because of the experience he had where, okay, come October, November, it's like, oh, Dylan's the one that's elevating this team forward. Like, okay, would it surprise you, because you brought up Gronkowski, would it surprise you if come that Nebraska-Iowa game, Dylan is like the significant, like well regarded as a significantly better quarterback?
No, that would not surprise me.
I do think he's better than most, but it's not Gronkowski's physical talents. He's a winner, and you're putting him in a culture where it's going to be tailor made to how he plays. He just makes plays. Now I don't know about comparing it to like Big Ten talent, but from a mental makeup standpoint, oh shoot, he's right there with what they need.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like we could go into that game and Iowa could still come out and win that game because it's like, okay, they've got now a non-factor at quarterback, you know, like, and they could still win that game, but just purely talking QB play.
Yeah,
I mean, it would not surprise me one bit if Dylan is like regarded as like significantly better. Iowa Nebraska game.
I have to be honest, right, and that's why I don't like Sellers as much, because you use the term pure QB play. I don't mean to hate on athleticism and playmaking, but I do like being on schedule in crunch time and rhythm.
You're projecting a lot with Sellers.
It just takes so much for me to get there in my head, but it's not a direct comparison of what they have versus what we have. I'm just saying, like, I'm not always enamored with the playmaking style, even though
you want the ability.
I want
you don't
have
to rely on it.
Yeah,
right?
like it's just too hard games like that.
Because if you're relying on it, then it's a little less predictable in terms of how you can
a little
points,
too
right?
boom or busty for me.
I mean, there's a lot of Martinez there.
Yes.
Yes. That's the Taylor Martinez offense is really boom or bust. Or it's like, hey, we can't stay on schedule. We can't do a drive, but he may bust one out for 80 anytime we.
Yeah, I don't want to see a scramble for a 4-yard loss and then be off schedule. You know what I mean? But then wait for the 70-yard run.
Right.
That's just,
like you mentioned. Yeah, you mentioned we talked about those 4 quarterbacks at the top. Like that's the thing with those other 3 compared to Sellers. All of those guys have proven they can play within the structure of the offense, can take the layups, can do those things. And I think that's why I mean I trusted those three over sellers right now, and why specifically I think with Arch and Dylan, it's like, okay, this is what you really like. Like DJ does some of that stuff really well. What really helped DJ was playing his senior year or junior and senior year in essentially a spread offense system that allowed him to take some of those layups and have a playmaker in a Jermaine Bishop who just committed to Texas, was recently named a 5-star player. Having a guy like that where he could just be like, okay, I'm just going to dump it off to you and you do something after the catch. He didn't have to go and kind of do everything himself. He had that player that helped DJ's development a lot. Dylan, that's just who he is. Dylan is a guy that is going to take the layups, has the ability to elevate, and that's the thing with all three of those guys too. They have the ability to make those plays and put the team on their back when they need to, but they take the layups. They're comfortable taking the layups, and they can play within structure.
That's the gimmies. I'm talking about layups.
Gotta take the gimmies.
I might go from gimmies to layups, TV, because we're speaking. I'm just telling you, though, physically, like as a quarterback, Mendoza's a lot more gifted than O'Rourke. So,
sure.
Yeah. That's the wild card. That's the wild card in all of this. He's the one where, like, I don't know about the rest of the roster. Like, Indiana is doing this whole thing where it's like we're rebuilding through the transfer portal and the high school and we're developing. We'll see how it goes this year. I counted him out last year. We'll see how it goes this year. But yeah, like Mendoza is that, like, Mendoza's that guy, man. Like
he's more of a quarterback than a guy that we saw shred the Big Ten last year.
Yeah. I'm not the first one saying this. I know, like, national evaluators are like he's kind of like the guy they're starting to crush on a little bit. Fernando Mendoza could be a first-round quarterback in 26. Like that, like would not surprise.
Cut it out.
It could happen. Like it's the traits, it's the tools, it's everything. Like he's, yeah.
Hey, let me get you out of this. Mendoza or Mateer?
Ooh.
Oh, don't do that. I don't want Oklahoma good.
No, but this
you know my answer.
It's Mendoza. I mean, long term, it's Mendoza. Like, it's Mateer for the college level, but long term, it's Mendoza.
Gotcha.
I'm just not a Mateer guy.
Too much of the what I don't like.
Yeah, and also just a lot of pedestrian numbers against good teams.
Yeah, I'm wondering how that's going to translate to the SEC. I do think like Oklahoma. I'm sorry to hold up longer than.
But, listen, again, this whole digital thing is a blessing. We do what we want to do.
The thing I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about this with Oklahoma recently. Like a lot of people are giving them credit for what they've done this offseason to try and take that step forward, but I really think they're taking a gamble on Mateer because it's a significant step forward in just play. And like, yeah, it helps that he's comfortable with the offense. It helps that it's Arbuckle's offense. It's not a whole lot that he's missing. He's going to have a talented group of receivers to throw to. But it's a big change in who he's playing. He's never faced a Colin Simmons or an Anthony Hill. He's never seen a Dylan Stewart. He's not seen these kind of guys before. He's going to feed those type of guys every single week. And then Jaden Ott, like, I just didn't. I understand wanting to spend up for an experienced quarterback or running back and getting a guy that can tote the rock. Citing this guy has more carries and more like production than anyone else. The whole name of the game right now is finding quarterbacks without tread on their tires, not the ones with the most tread on their tires. Like, I think Ott can be good, and I think Ott can be a productive SEC quarterback or SEC running back. But to just be like, oh well, he's got the most experience, he's got the most this and that, like, it's going to just immediately translate. I don't know. And the culture's intact. I think the defense is going to be solid, but that schedule's so difficult that, you know, you lose a couple of games. Like, I could see that team falling apart mid-season just because it's like, okay, well, Venables is just sitting on a hot seat at this point. And I'm not as in on Oklahoma or like in on this hype train like other people are. And it comes down to just, I still don't think they're SEC ready.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Portland States and San Jose States on the roster this year, or on the schedule this year.
Are
for
you
Oklahoma.
sure? Are you sure?
Tim, appreciate the time as always. Great stuff. Love talking to you. Appreciate you joining us. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, TV.
Of course, talk next week. Appreciate y'all.
That's Tim Verghese from Inside Nebraska. Make sure you get out to Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. 75-cent wings all day, all weekend. Make sure you get out here either at La Vista or the Gretna location. We'll be back with more Hurrdat Sports Live.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I don't have the answer to that yet, just because I don't know what's going to happen after game one. And but yes, all our pitchers are ready to go. They're working. We had 2 of them going live yesterday against our hitters, just because they haven't been out there for a while. So it'll be interesting. I mean, Jordy's going to give us everything she has, but so are our other pitchers. So I don't know yet, and I'm not trying to not give you the answer, but honestly I don't know. I've thought about it a lot.
I think probably just getting off to a better start early in games, and that's just getting, on the starting pitcher a little bit earlier. We've seen a lot of, the ballpark's played bigger here the last 2 weeks, and the fly balls are going nowhere, so that's just, you can't go to the plate trying to hit a ground ball either, because then that takes away some aggression. So I think just, we're not striking out, we're not, collecting a lot of consecutive really good at bats, and really that's going to be what it takes to get those crooked numbers early, because that's what you're seeing late in the games, right? 7th, 8th, 9th innings, we're putting together multiple really good at bats in a row to be able to set up some of these big innings.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you can make an impact simply by choosing where to put your money, by banking local and specifically with a credit union. Credit unions embrace the philosophy of people helping people, meaning they reinvest in the communities they serve. For example, just last year, Centrist Federal Credit Union invested $250,000 back into the communities, and their employees donated over 1,900 volunteer hours. It makes a difference to bank locally and with a credit union. Go check out centrusfcu.org to learn more about not just how they reinvest in the community, but how they can help you out with your finances as well. Federally insured by NCUA. Speaking of quarterbacks here, like we were with Tim Verghese a minute ago.
Yes, Ravi. Yes.
You got a very interesting DM.
I did.
That you shared with me.
I did.
And
I talked to him a lot about football over the years.
And because you kind of brought this up, you go, hey, he's going to have to pass a lot of guys. Dylan. He's going to have to pass a lot of guys sort of in the pecking order of Big Ten quarterbacks in order to get where we think he can go and get Nebraska where we think they can go.
Yeah, and I felt like I was finding new ways to kind of regurgitate the same topic. And I've asked a lot of our guys that we talk to because I want to get a consensus before the season actually plays out so people can't go back and say, well, and then insert blank. Not about being right or wrong.
Sure.
I just want to know where everybody was coming from.
And I think there's a lot of different ways to think about it. That's why we bring up these different versions.
That's why I asked up different scenarios, right? Because we've said, hey, this is an 8-win minimum.
Mm-hmm.
This is blank or this schedule and we've done all these things. The roster, the position group. And I'm like, hey,
we're trying to get specific now.
If we're gonna make this move, somebody's gonna have to get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Who are these most likely candidates?
You have to push somebody out of the way.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Who are the most likely candidates to be removed?
Yeah.
And then what does it look like? So I always start with the quarterback spot.
Yeah.
Even more than I look at schedule. Because schedule,
it can change a lot in even mid-year.
Pretty week to weeky.
Yeah.
So,
I
want us to understand, regardless of what we think, I want everybody to have the same picture that they're looking at. There are some really talented quarterbacks in this league. And I get it. Yeah, our guy is too, but everybody in their respective cities, their college towns, are basically saying they're saying the same thing in Seattle that we are in Lincoln. I mean, they're saying the same thing in Minneapolis. Well, maybe not upside to some degree,
with
but with the quarterback spot.
Yeah.
They're saying the same thing in Eugene. They're saying the same thing in Piscataway. They're saying.
So that's where I push back a little bit.
I know, because you've extrapolated high end.
Well, but that's what we're doing with Nebraska in general, right? If we're talking about them taking the leap, there is extrapolation.
I'm not a best case scenario guy.
I understand that. But you're asking how they get to where we're talking about.
Yeah, so if I'm not going to go best case scenario, I want everybody to be operating on the same deal. It's really the only reason why I wanted to land the plane on Raiola's development. Can we talk about it independent of Holgorsen?
Sure.
Because then we start getting into things that everybody could say. You could say in Iowa City. You could say well, if this fit and with this mind, and then let's just look at productivity and making jumps. What are the base things that those individuals can control that I don't need to be super myopic or best case scenario about?
Well, I agree. That makes sense.
Now, you may think of it the other way. Well, let's just say they do all max. Then who would I take? And I'm like, I get it, because it does the same thing. It levels the discussion point.
So I'm not even totally doing that. The way I'm thinking about it is who has the most area left to improve. So if I take Dylan versus a Brosmer up in Minnesota, right? And I go, okay, Max might be a really good college quarterback, and he's been productive, and we kind of like what we see there, right? But if he improves by 10%, his ceiling, like the 10% for Dylan is greater than the 10% for Brosmer, in my mind. Like there's more room.
I get it.
For Dylan to continue.
I'm just telling you where I think it gets a little conflated. I mean, would you have said that with Riley Leonard?
I mean, did Riley Leonard get significantly better from Duke to Notre Dame?
No.
I don't think so either.
But they played for a national championship is my point. So
Yeah,
is
that's
that a disqualifier?
No, because the rest of that team was really good.
Yeah, but okay. Sure.
Yeah.
But you saw the way that game played out at Ohio State.
Yeah.
You needed better
better quarterback play.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Okay. So I'm just
but what they needed, so that's Riley Leonard's actually a really good example of kind of what I'm talking about, right? Is I thought
thank you.
No, you're doing a great job. Like I thought, and that didn't mean to sound as condescending as I.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Like I thought Will Howard.
Funny Robbie, Shade, funny Robbie.
So if you're going to argue against me, Will Howard's actually a really good example because I thought he was pretty close to who he was going to be coming out of Kansas State. His throwing elevated to a level I didn't know he had at Ohio State. He ended up making throws at the end of the season more consistently and in places they needed more than I thought he was going to be able to, right? So if you're going to make an argument for like Calic Manis or Brosmer or Gronowski or whoever, some of these guys that I think their ceilings are lower, Will Howard's the example of that. And that I think probably has a lot to do with fit and scheme and talent around him, right? I don't think you're going to have that issue in Rutgers or Iowa City or Minnesota where the other talent around it's so good that it elevates a guy past where I think his ceiling is. What I do think is with a guy like Dylan, as Tim said, and basically everybody we've asked, right? If we're talking about ceilings, it's Nico and Dylan basically in the conference, and no one else is really in that conversation.
I 100% agree, except for
you're not a huge Nico guy.
No.
Okay. You're not as enamored with him, I didn't think, but
that's not it.
Okay.
I like the guy in Seattle too from a talent standpoint.
Okay.
He's just his physical features
aren't as impressive.
Don't scream NFL.
Sure.
But he is uber talented.
Okay. So you want to throw Damon Williams in there?
Guys like that.
Okay. So when we bring this up, part of the reason I do think it matters to bring up the ceiling is if Dylan is the guy that we think he is, and let's put it out on the table here. We think he's a potential future first-round quarterback. That's what we're talking about. Whether he ends up being that or not, I don't know. But when we're talking about potential and ceiling and talent, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a potential first-round guy. That ceiling gives you an opportunity to pass most of those guys who aren't that. Most guys in the conference aren't that. You know, maybe throw Mendoza in there, like Tim was saying, who's got maybe some dark horse whispers about being a potential first-rounder. If Nico reaches his ceiling, he's a first-rounder. But that's why I can look at it and I go, okay, if Dylan's who I think he is, he passes those guys. Because first-round quarterback passes most everybody else in the league, even really good college quarterbacks. So that's why I feel pretty comfortable saying if he does make that leap, I'm good.
Okay.
You know, like that's why I look at ceiling.
No pushback.
So I want to read this from Stetson here before we get to Mike Sautter here in a minute.
It was a really good response.
It's a really good DM about sort of Dylan, his developments, and what happened last year, right? Because I think we all agree we really liked what it looked like early, kind of got away from him in the middle of the season, sort of started seeing those flashes again late once after Dana took over. He goes, I believe Dylan lost confidence in his wide receivers last year. I think as the season went along, he didn't think they were going to win their matchups and create space. He began hesitating to wait and see if they would come open. That hesitation started causing pressure to get home, you know, et cetera, pressure, bad throws, more sacks, all of that kind of creates a domino effect there. He says, I'm sure you recall Aaron Murray's critical comments about wide receivers' effort from the opener last year, and that game went well, so a lot of us felt some kind of way about Aaron Murray's critique about that. I remember, I did. The fans were quite defensive about his comments, but I think the season proved him right, and I would agree there. Obviously, could be wrong about the cascade of it all, but it sure felt like by late October when he dropped back, he didn't trust his guys to make a play. And he brought up one particular catch.
And it's a lot longer DM.
Yeah, I was trying to say.
And I know I get it because it's not great radio to read it all. My response, I'm like,
it was pretty well thought out and in-depth.
This is pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
I think we should talk about this.
So there was one particular catch that he brought up that I always think of. And then there's one more that I think of as well that I think is really critical that I don't know if I'm the only one that is fixated on.
Well, we haven't talked about it, so I'll tell you.
So the first one he brought up was Isaiah Nair against Illinois.
Yeah.
The one in the end zone, originally called a touchdown, gets switched over to an interception. and that's a ball that probably needs to be a touchdown, right? The other one, and I can't even remember which game it is, but I can see it in my head. It was a post over the middle to Jalen Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
It was a jump ball. Jalen goes up for it. The defender goes up for it. Defender comes down with it. It ends up being an interception. I believe that was Dylan's first interception of the season. I think. I might be wrong. And I think I look at I think of those two plays, and I go, I wonder how much that got in his head of, I can't throw a jump ball.
So this is on the heels of, he's like, hey, I've been listening to the discussion with Bruns about the long ball.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you remember, and good on, I like his football mind. And we've done this, he and I, for a long, long time. Remember, like in February, this wasn't February, it's like March, where I was talking about the difference between underthrowing and overthrowing is psychological.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked Bruns, I go, hey, I don't want to just backpat. And he goes, no, I think a lot of people are talking about this. So I was like, okay. But to this point, and I had this conversation with Foreman at a practice once, there's something that happens when you overthrow a guy or you miss him by a mile versus right there, just make a play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one, you lose, you're discouraged, but you both can lose confidence.
Mm-hmm.
One is fixable if you upgrade. The other is, this guy just isn't very good.
Yeah.
You're hoping that Nebraska has upgraded and that guy, along the lines of what Stetson is thinking, will be freed up now to go make plays. Because during the season, I would explain it like this. I'd be like, man, just cut it loose. It's been so ingrained to not turn the ball over.
He's a little too precious.
We're just too, just say, hey, man, listen, I'm not telling you to go be haphazard, but let's just go make plays.
Mm-hmm.
Once that starts to happen, then I think you can kind of see the thing open up for him.
What do we hear all the time with really good really good passing games in general? Hey, if you've got a guy in one-on-one, give him a chance to make a play.
Yeah.
Right? I think we got to a point last year where Dylan was not willing to let a guy go try and make a play.
He's the first person that I heard talk about that from the wide receiver standpoint of confidence. And I felt like I got to probably entertain. That's legit.
I think it's a factor. I don't know if it's everything, but I do think that was a factor in what we saw happen with Dylan last year.
Wow.
Coming up next, we'll talk to Mike Sautter, Hurrdat Sports and NEBPreps. A lot going on. SDB, I'm Ravi. Lulla, more Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
I think this year definitely I try to be more of a voice to the guys, being a senior and having a lot of experience with college baseball. It definitely helps out a lot of guys that are, kind of newer in the game. So I think definitely being more of a voice this year than I was last year has definitely been something that I tried to improve on this year. So
has that been difficult for you?
Trying to just step out of your comfort zone a little bit is definitely something, I wouldn't say new, but it's definitely something a little difficult. But being with all these guys, you're all brothers, so it's just like you can say whatever you want. No one's gonna hate you. No one's gonna have disrespect for you. Everyone kind of knows that whatever you're saying, it definitely means something. So it was definitely a change that I had to work on. So.
This team's in a really good spot. We have a lot of leadership across the board on this team, but I think it's just like reassuring the team that we are ready. Having been there, knowing like what it takes. I know that this team has that, so it's just reassuring every day. Like, we had a great practice today. Like, we're ready to go. Like, if we've ever been ready at any point in the season, it's now. So I think just that.
I think the biggest thing we've talked about as an offense is just being more aggressive. You know, getting your swing off is the biggest thing. Sure, you're going to miss sometimes, but for the most part, we trust our swings, and having the ability to, you know, stay through the middle of the field will allow us to catch balls out front, hit home runs, and extra base hits in general. So that's been a big thing for us. Yeah, so as of late, we have had a lot of walk-off home runs and, you know, big hits in the late innings. So I think just continuing to have a slow heartbeat at the plate and continuing to trust in one another has been a big thing for us. You know, right before those innings, Bolt comes up to us and constantly tells us, hey, slow heartbeat, trust in the process, and your guys got your back. So.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Mike Sautter.
Yeah.
Mike Sautter.
Oh, man, you're going to put me on the spot.
Mike Sautter.
Kicking off hour number 3 here on Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We're joined by Mike Sautter, Hurrdat Sports NEBPreps. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how we doing? How we doing today?
Jerome, what's up, buddy?
I'm excited to get back in the gym for 3 days here this weekend and do what I do, because
you're right down the road, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, Council Bluffs all weekend. After watching 14 of the 16 state soccer tournament games this week in 4 days,
Are you excited about today down at Morrison?
Yeah, I do think it'll be good. I personally will not be there, but we will have it covered pretty well. I won't be there, but I think the boys semifinal games tonight are going to be really good. Like, at least the environment is going to be really good. So West Side Prep, you don't have to, like, that's an obvious reason. Just say those two names, and Prep is really, really good. And West Side's pretty good too. It's just they played two different styles a little bit of soccer. And I am no soccer expert by any means, but you can tell, like, they play
Pele written all over you.
Pele?
Yeah. Or are you thinking, no, that's pay less? Because I don't like to spend a lot of money.
I mean, with the haircut, he's got a little more Zinedine Zidane in him, I think.
Oh, a big Zinedine guy.
You like headbutting people in World Cups? Or?
No, he played hard.
He did play hard.
Good pull. He competitive son of a gun.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I know who that is, but you guys go for it. And then, hey, South Sioux City and Omaha South will be entertaining, very entertaining.
Talk about how can I
contrasting?
No, not contrasting at all.
Not contrasting at all. That's very similar.
Yeah. Well, anyway, just say
No, they just like to go for it too. Like, they don't like
very explosive in the midfield.
Yes, like they just run and go for it. That game will be electric. It'll be exciting. I frankly think there will be a lot of people there.
5:30 is the early game, right?
Right. West Side Prep is 5:30. Yeah. And then I can't forget about the girls. So girls is good too, right? You have Southwest and Elkhorn South starting the day off at noon, and then Bellevue West and Marion is game 2, right? Actually at 2:30 or whatever it is. So I think I'm intrigued by that game because Marion has 3 losses, 2 of them to Bellevue West.
I'm a big Virgilito fan, as you know.
What'd you say?
I'm a big Teresa Virgilito fan.
Yeah, she's good, very good. And
buddy Nick DeGeorge.
Marion. Marion's 2 of Marion's 3 losses to Bellevue West. 1 was shootout fashion the first time, and the other one was 1-0, and it was a penalty kick with like minutes left in the match.
Hey, a few too many important PKs in this tournament so far, Sautter, for your liking, or are you a big PK guy?
I enjoyed exciting things happening.
Decided by PKs. I just don't.
I get it.
This is my thing with the overtime rules in high school, and just go straight to PKs or do golden goal.
Oh,
like, one of the two.
We're not going straight to PKs, Jerome. It's
Why?
not because it's not real soccer.
How many times they've played for 80 minutes?
NHL in the playoffs has real overtime. You're not going to a shootout.
Does the NHL, if someone scores a goal in overtime, the game's over, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's not the case in high school soccer.
And the rash, we're just not fast forwarding the PKs.
Would you be okay with a golden goal?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
But
yeah,
better than PKs.
Yeah.
Better going straight to PKs.
But what did he say first?
He said PKs, and then he said
yeah.
golden goal.
Come on, man.
How many times does high school soccer actually someone
not enough for the consternation? I get the point. Do you want my wrist here?
Just go straight to it because you're wasting 40 minutes of everybody's time basically because people just nothing ever.
What if we made overtime a little bit shorter?
Yeah, let's trim it down a little bit. Let's
not quietly chastise me. I feel a little scolded.
No, I don't know. It's just my opinion. Especially in the regular season, just go to.
I used to really, really, really love soccer. So,
there's obvious reasons there.
I want it played in its purest form. Sorry, I was not thinking time constraints.
You just skipped over that obvious reasons part.
I don't have any. I need a Q-tip, little waxy. I can't hear so good. Sorry.
No, I mean people have opinions on it, and that's just my opinion. It's okay.
And it's a very strong, opinionated community. So you have to be careful with willy-nilly suggestions.
You got to be real careful with any suggestions.
You will get cussed the heck out.
Yeah. And as someone that is a self-proclaimed not soccer expert, I have to be real.
Use the term aficionado. We have a mutual friend that loves when people use the term aficionado. It's like his favorite. You're not a soccer aficionado?
No. Nope.
We know that the soccer community doesn't like to gatekeep or anything, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
How does Council Bluffs look this weekend?
What'd you say? Sorry.
Bluffs look this weekend from a talent standpoint.
It looks pretty good, man. You have 2 of the top 5 players in the country. Creighton's newest commit, Jaden Kuhn, will be in Council Bluffs tomorrow, not today or Sunday, just tomorrow. He's just playing 2 games tomorrow. He's really athletic. If people haven't seen him, good chance to go out and see him. He plays 12:30 and 7:30 tomorrow. Then it's good. I mean, this is the 4th time that we've had the Adidas, 3SSB or whatever it was called before that. Tournaments here, or not tournaments because it's not a tournament, event here. So, and it's a live period, so it's ratcheted up a little bit. Live period where, Division I college coaches can be in the building and evaluating. So it'll be ratcheted up a little bit. I think it'll be pretty good. I have a full slate schedule planned for everything today, starting at 10:30, and then tomorrow all day. Gotta fit in my daughter's 4th birthday party thing because her birthday was last Saturday, but for some reason we're having her 4th celebration of her birthday tomorrow from 1 to 3. So I gotta kind of run to that, and then I'll be back in the gym after that.
It's always a joy. It warms the proverbial cockles of my heart to see you parent. It's beautiful. How are the little princesses doing?
They have field day today at school, which I will not be attending, thank God. So yeah, I was there for the fun run. The fun run where they just run around in a circle and you check off the back of the shirt thing.
At our school. That's back when I thought it was cool for brothers to be distance runners. I realize that's a pretty not American thing. But anyway.
There are brothers. They're just not ones that live in America.
I didn't need you to elaborate, Jerome. I was just
I was just saying it for you. Like that's I mean.
Hey, so I have some more questions. Do you like do you like the baseball tournament setup now? As it's kind of you like the rotation, the schedule, the format. Are you cool with the way state baseball's been done?
Yeah, I think it's good. Like the old well, the way they used to do it, like the Legion bracket way, didn't make a lot of sense to me. So I think I do like it a little bit better. So I like how, losers bracket, you can still fight through it. Man, you really can't lose that first game like today.
Not unless you have arms. It's going to be a call to arms because
you need about 5 arms if you're going to lose on day one. You got to
be able to win 11-8.
Yeah, something crazy. So baseball starts today. It'll be fun.
People talked about their arms. They just weren't built to win 12-9 midweek games. That's just
who are you talking about? Nebraska? Well, they got lucky one yesterday because they did what the
good. We needed that. We needed that because I would like to be at the Big Ten tournament, and I need more than 17 people there. I mean, not for me personally, for the environment.
Yeah,
I'm cheering for the Big Ten.
Well, there'll be a lot of Iowa people.
17 people's right in your
wheelhouse.
Yeah,
Yeah, there will, and I mean, so I imagine as a 1 seed in this Big Ten tournament, Iowa's probably about as pissy as they're going to get as a 1 seed because I don't know if anybody thinks they're good. I imagine they will have a chip on their shoulder because people will have only talked about their schedule. They'll be geared up.
Yeah, there'll be some Iowa fans there. It would be cool if Iowa, Nebraska, like somehow made it to like the finals.
Hey, if you're Purdue, you guys ever been college students? Jerome, you never went to college, but I'll ask.
That's not true.
I'm playing. I'm just playing. If you were getting ready to be done with school, right, and you're leaving dorms, like are baseball players like going to the ballpark today with their cars packed, or like how you they're approaching?
No, I mean, baseball, they play year round every damn day. It feels like so. They're
no,
just
he's
used to
moving out of their dorms.
I'm talking about like the baseball guys. Like how are they approaching?
Are they actually in dorms?
Yeah, that's true. Probably just the pups.
Yeah,
and they have a lot.
Man. They're just chilling in their apartments.
How would you approach today, though? You just laying down? I hope Nebraska doesn't assume they're laying down.
Well, they're in. I mean,
yeah, they're in. I know.
So, yeah, they did
for another seed slot to move up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to play to win.
I think so. Also, you don't want to. I mean, it's not like Nebraska's had great momentum through a lot of the season, so I think you got to kind of try and make sure things stay rolling in the right direction.
Yeah. Hey, Jerome.
Yeah, you want a heater like you did last year in the Big Ten tournament, like towards the end of the year. Then you're good.
Let me ask you guys a Nebraska basketball question real quick, because Creighton has historically not had this problem. Which, by the way, do we know what they're doing with Jemiah Neal's 5th year?
I don't think he's getting one, but I don't know.
I don't think he's.
How about Nebraska having everybody in their off-season camp for the first time in forever?
Well, everybody except for Rink, he's there and doing stuff.
Yeah,
but
for all intents and purposes, I mean, this is different for them. You think that's going to matter?
Probably because Verghese probably can get in shape quicker.
I just think continuity.
Does that make him better at basketball?
Yes.
Okay.
You ever tried to play in shape versus out of shape?
Yeah, I've been there, but
I feel like you were trying to be funny.
I'm just saying there's some, like, you can be in really good shape and still not be very good at basketball.
Any tomatoes you want to launch at old
I just don't know how good
Gonzo over here?
I don't know how good
No.
I don't know how
No,
good
I mean,
I forgot. We're talking to two haters. You guys are on the same page.
No, I don't hate him. He just drives me crazy.
What do you call Verghese in our group chat? What do you call him in the group chat?
Oh, that's right.
Don't sit here and try to tell me that.
I don't even know if I
I almost got myself in trouble. I like how Jacob ignores it too. He's such a professional.
Like, don't sit here and tell me that you're in love with Verghese's game.
I like how he occasionally just launches a ball into the stands or as an inexplicable pull-up 37-foot jumper off the dribble.
Or just falls out of bounds for no reason with the ball in his hand.
Speaking of young Jakob, did you at least check on him? Like, is he okay?
Listen, I called his brother to check on him. Excuse me. Like, who else took that measure?
Well, you're probably the only one that has Jordan's number.
I've got his number.
Great.
I called his brother to make sure he was okay because I was like, okay, if he actually dislocated his ankle, then he's probably in the hospital and probably isn't taking calls. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave him alone, let him rest, and check him, see if he's fine.
Happy he wasn't concussed because I need his memory.
A little bit.
You need,
You're on a scooter, ligament detached from your ankle so quickly it broke the bone. But I'm glad you didn't get a concussion because I need the Rolodex.
I did. That probably didn't sound right. That's bad. Sorry, Jacob. I do.
I did.
Oh, I called him and got right into Cooper flag usage rate and didn't even ask how he was feeling.
Hey, how's the ankle? BT Dub, Cooper flag usage rate. What's going on here, bud?
I did that, Jerome. I feel bad.
What a jerk.
Oh,
says that guy.
It's the second time I've been called a name. Shane called me the F word this morning.
He actually said it?
Yes. Out of I don't know what made him mad, but he just was
I'm still shook.
He's like, all right. And I was like, I don't even think that was very kind. And then I'll take jerk though. I can be a little bit of that. That's fine.
It's ridiculous.
We're gonna talk to one at 9:45, so it's fine.
Yeah. I saw last week. He had his board up and everything. It was great.
Sautter, can I ask you about quarterbacks here?
Yes, please do. Let's talk about the reason why everyone thinks that Jett Thomalla's offer is not real. Please, I'm prepared.
I'm curious because
old ass dudes on all their teams.
Alabama, if you look at the offers that Jett has, Alabama's kind of an outlier in terms of program quality. And listen, I'm a big Matt Campbell, Iowa State guy. I hope he ends up going there because I like Jett. And I'm glad that Jett's getting some recognition for being a good quarterback this offseason as the offers roll in. But it does seem a little bit of an outlier in terms of program quality. So I think people wonder. I think that's a fair thing to ask.
3,664 yards. 69.6% completion rate, 47 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. But he's a bum?
No one said he's a bum.
People are kind of saying he's not good enough.
No one here has said he's a bum.
I'm not saying you guys are. I'm saying people.
I didn't ask the question. You already know how I feel about him. Don't throw the you guys on there. I'm just listening to young Jett.
I didn't say you guys. I said people.
Talk to you, Jerome.
Hey, listen. Yes, is it an outlier? Here's the deal, though. It's funny that Danny Kalen is an elite 11 quarterback, and this goes back to what
you know. The Bible study with these guys last week in Lincoln.
Yeah, he like friends and stuff. Okay, he makes the elite 11. Zane Flores makes the elite 11. Nobody was like, oh, not good enough for the offers he's getting. Nobody said that. Nobody. But all of a sudden, like this one guy who threw for 70 freaking % of his passes. And by the way, if you watch Millard South, they pass it a little bit. Like, is all of a sudden not good enough because it's Alabama? Like, I guess I don't understand. Like, he's probably physically matured quite a bit in the offseason, I would imagine. He's probably gotten a tick more athletic. He's probably gotten better because that kid works on his craft all the time. Like, why are we we should be celebrating this, not throwing shade at it, right? Like, I just don't understand. Like, that's just what I don't understand. And hey, if Nebraska thinks that Dayton Raiola is better than Jett Thomalla, then so be it. That's fine. That's their opinion. That's their prerogative to feel that way. I have never seen Dayton Raiola play in person, but I would bet on Jett, and then the next quarterback coming right behind him after that, Braylon Warren. I would bet on those guys if I'm them, but they don't have to. That's what they can do. It's just I guess I don't understand. When that popped yesterday, there were so many like, is this a real offer? Is this a fake offer? Is this committable? You know, those sort of things. And I'm like, knowing Jett Thomalla and his dad, for one, I don't think he puts that out there if it's not committable, to be honest.
Okay.
Like,
let's look at it from the general public's perspective here, because I do think there is a gap between this guy sucks and doesn't deserve offers, and Alabama seems kind of like an outlier, right? Like, we sit here and we go, okay, I like Jett Thomalla. I was curious last year why Jett Thomalla didn't start having offers earlier, because I thought that I was a good, clear Division I quarterback. So you look at it and you go, okay, this guy can throw it a little bit. He's got good projectables. We've seen him kind of throw down in basketball games, good athlete. And I go, okay, Iowa State, Arizona, Arkansas State, Colorado State, Duke, Iowa. These are teams that he was getting offers from. When you throw an Alabama in there, it is a little bit confusing in terms of the quality of offer. And then I understand what you're saying about committable versus non-committable, but if you're a person just that likes high school football in Nebraska and you go, okay, I know this guy's really good. I saw him play last year and the year before, but I'm looking at his offers. I don't always totally understand what's a committable offer, what's a non-committable offer, and I don't know Jett or his dad. Then you have no way of knowing. Like, it's a fair question to ask, to say, hey, is this real? When a lot of the stuff we see on social media with recruits is kind of nonsense, right? Like, if you don't have a personal relationship with the family or know anybody around them, it's a fair question.
No, it can be a fair question. I just also
don't know about you, Sautter. I wouldn't let him talk to me like that. I mean, man, shoot.
I don't think the instant reaction that has happened since he posted this offer yesterday, at whatever time that was, last night. I don't think the reaction from the media people, quite honestly, is fair whatsoever at all, because people again are going to go back in their mind and be like, well, Nebraska didn't offer, so he's not good enough. That's the reaction all the time. And hey,
I'm getting the exact.
I'm not saying you, Ravi, but I understand what you're saying about, like, hey, yes, it's an outlier, but do we also know for a fact?
I don't think there's anyone on this planet that doesn't think he's good.
I'm getting the exact opposite. I'm getting the people mad at Nebraska for not offering because Alabama offered. Like, I'm not getting not actually that good because Nebraska didn't offer.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing either.
I'm getting the flip side of that, where it's like,
they probably should be. If you're a Nebraska fan, you probably should be like, hey, what is going on here? But then you got to realize, like, okay, well, they already have their quarterback locked in. They're not going to take two. So you move on with your life. Back to the Jett Thomalla thing is so we do know for a fact, because it absolutely happened, that Ohio State, for all intents and purposes, wide receivers and quarterbacks, they produce NFL talent left and right, right? We all kind of agree on that, right? Like, we know for a fact that they came in town and watched him work out and throw, and he's still kind of on their board and all of that stuff, right? We know that because that happened a couple weeks ago. But no one was like, oh, like, blinked. People were like, oh, he's probably pretty good. Like, there's
well, he walked away from that.
Two things are kind of being said. I think it's a straw man argument to not talk about his attributes. He's
very good.
I'm not even. Not only that, he's a pretty good human being too. Like, that matters a lot.
I don't know if we're saying the same thing. I'm just listening.
Yeah.
And so I don't think you two are saying the same thing.
I don't think we are either.
But here's the thing. Here's the beauty of it. And I've tried to set this up like weeks ago. It just hasn't had enough time to sink in yet. We got to stop using Nebraska as a barometer, because I don't think a lot of people think that anymore. So we got to stop intimating it with the straw man stuff. because we've seen this for like 15 years, guys,
Mhm.
where other guys have gone to states and they've been and not had Nebraska offers, and they've been just fine,
Really successful.
And Nebraska hasn't won enough to like be the benchmark. And what's going to happen is if Nebraska ever gets good enough when they don't offer, and they are winning,
We'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
people won't care then either.
Mhm.
Like right now, I just think it's because Nebraska's not winning enough. Like it's going to come up again with Braylon Warren.
We're just horrified that a player from the state might get away, and it'll cost us games.
You know, so I just think we got to, I don't know, you guys got to move over.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's time to kind of move on from that. But then when you, man, when you see, hear, get text messages from people that like colleagues that I work with and people saying stuff and intimating stuff, I'm just like that's not where we're at here. Like, let's not be that. Like, that's just my thing. I don't know.
I think you can have
I feel pretty
about
it.
on without having a conversation about whether he's good or not. That was the conversation I was having, because I think we all agree that he's very good. And I think we can all say, hey, the recruitment has gone, this kind of comes out of nowhere, seemingly, in terms of quality of offer versus how the rest of the recruitment's gone.
Yeah, here's one thing about the out of nowhere thing too, is like, when's the last time someone actually spoke to Jett about his recruitment and how it's going and stuff outside of when he actually committed to Iowa State? He lays pretty low. So
out of nowhere.
That's why I like him too.
When I say out of nowhere, I almost mean as much like, when's the last time somebody from Nebraska had an Alabama offer? Like
Carter Nelson.
Sure.
Carter Nelson. That was like what, a year ago? So
but in general, like Alabama doesn't come knocking down the doors very often in Nebraska. So I think
it was a year. It was in the last cycle. It just happened.
One guy like ever.
I don't know about you guys. I'm still traumatized.
About what?
In a game in which I thought we were clearly outgunned. We were kind of in for a long time.
Yeah.
There's 3 plays that were made in that game, and he made 2 of them.
Yeah.
And you could make the case he made all 3, but Hill had such a good run after the catch on the dump down, the little check down.
Yeah.
That I got to give Hill some credit. But the other 2?
No, he's really good.
I'm like,
yeah.
I
felt for a lot of the last year that I was higher on Jett than most people.
Remember, like,
I didn't
so
believe it before. You know how fast that ball's coming out
I was saying,
because
he processes it pretty quick. That ball's getting out of there.
Okay.
And he's got
2 years ago, it was like, oh, he's not athletic enough. He was just young. Like, he was just young. So, like, I'm excited to see him run it probably a little more this year in games, but I'm also excited to see him throw it around and, like Wednesday mornings in June.
Now, I'm interested to see what it'll look like with the new coaching staff.
I don't think a lot's going to change.
Very similar.
Yeah, I don't think the offensive stuff that's not going to change. I don't think a lot's going to change there. And then another thing, like people, not you guys, there was talk of, I've heard people saying, is like, well, look who he's throwing to. He's throwing to all these, high level
good players help.
Yeah, but also like, so when he gets to the next level, he's not going to be throwing to those same type of people. Is that? I mean,
goes Alabama, they're going to have good receivers too.
Yeah, like if it's, you know what I mean. Like I don't. I guess that's
not to defend idiocy, but I think they're talking about the players that he's going against.
Yeah, like comparison, like the gap. But I also would say, like, we don't say that about guys from Texas.
No, I know.
You know what I mean? Like a guy from Texas or California.
Verghese, I'm like,
yeah.
Nebraskans are the only one that gets those criticisms.
Right. And I think I feel pretty good about where the football talent is right now in Nebraska.
You hurt Bellevue West quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got too many good players. Like, listen, you want those guys. It's a lot easier that way.
You also still have to be able to drop it into them or complete the pass or avoid a rush at times.
And quietly, I'll say, I just got to say this about Bellevue West because I think they have a lot of other sports that fall under the radar. Mm-hmm. And I get it, football isn't where Coach Huffman wants it the last couple of years, but basketball is right there. Their other sports are pretty good.
And I'm like,
where are all these? I mean, girls basketball is good. Track and field is good. Like
Their 4x4 could win it next week, by the way, and they're boys. So
yeah, soccer's in the semis. I'm like,
track always good.
Not that I'm gonna go air high dap Morrow. That's my dude, but I might dap him up. All right then, Morrow.
Big Bellevue West guy, Damon Benning.
See, that's what I got to put up.
You know I do.
And I kind of like everybody, so I'm,
I try to tell people that, and I get in trouble.
No, I like that you root for everybody. I do.
It's fine.
I can't wait. Hey, this is what I can't wait for. So, like if I go to if I go to too many Millard South functions or games or football stuff this like off season and like the games in the fall, I'll be like, oh, you're such a Millard South homer. Well, I was a West Side homer about 2 years ago, and then I was a Bellevue West homer before that. And
Weren't you
I'm sorry, I like going to watch good players.
Was it fellatio or hand jobs you were accused of giving when it wasn't Millard South? You haven't Millard South homer.
I think it was the, I don't remember which one, but it was close. One ever won. Yes.
I have one quick last question.
Okay.
Ready? Tougher 3-game stretch for Nebraska. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
UCLA, Penn State, Iowa, or USC, UCLA, Penn State. UCLA and Penn State are on the road if you would like.
I think the Iowa one at the end, just because it's a lot different styles, a lot more physical and stuff like that.
What do you say?
I think it's the last stretch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only one that thinks it's 2 Callies and a Penn State.
You think USC is going to be good?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Penn State's going to be good. I know that.
And again, I admitted this earlier. I am a little afraid of Pasadena. I'm traumatized.
Got a little PTSD.
It's not necessary to elaborate.
Okay.
Well, if it was, never mind. I was going to make a joke. Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to say it. Well, if it was Miami, where you were the 1996 Orange Bowl MVP, you have no fear of that place.
Does digital still work where you can hang up on people?
I can out of the stream, I think, if you want me to.
Jerome, you have a good day, and I will see you over at the field house at some point.
Yeah, I'll be there all weekend.
How big are the lanyards? Are they like billboard size or
probably?
Jeez,
got like Flavor Flav size.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not small.
I'm gonna need a full scouting report on Jaden Kuhn when you're done. Okay.
They're similar to this. They're like this size. They're very.
That's like
traditional.
that's like a normal media size.
Oh, that's like big. Like it's
Back
not a
when
little.
Like me and I would get. They wanted me to work those events. I would wear those things proudly.
Back in the day.
2 years ago. Go clock.
Robbie, we're gonna try and talk to Jaden Kuhn tomorrow. I already kind of set up something up with him. So.
Who are you taking with you, Kyle?
No.
No, Kyle's down at in Fayetteville.
No.
Oh,
you don't think I can handle it myself? You don't think I'm multi-talented or what?
That's exactly what he said.
No, that's not.
No.
Jeez.
No.
Have a good day, Jerome. I like your grass.
What'd you say?
Your grass. It's very
my
nice.
yard. Hey, now that thing is. Whoo-wee. That thing is cooking right now. It is.
Very
man.
nice.
Hey, straight as an arrow, baby. Straight, not even an arrow. It's probably straighter than an arrow if you're shooting from a bow and arrow. It's about as
arrow. Nah. All right, Jerome. Have a good rest of the morning.
All right, keep those lines tight out there, people.
Bye, buddy.
That's Mike Sautter, Hurrdat Sports, NEBPreps.
Just nonsense.
Let's take a quick break here, regroup, and we'll come back here, wrap up the show with our guy, Matt Vrzal, who I can't imagine that's going to go any better. So here we go.
Wait, is it Scott? Is this the last Scott lunch?
I thought last week was.
Okay, so he may be fine.
Okay.
He may be fine.
We'll see how it goes. That's DB. I'm Ravi. A little more Hurrdat Sports Live coming next.
I think this year definitely I try to be more of a voice to the guys, you know, being a senior and having a lot of experience with college baseball. It definitely helps out a lot of guys that are, you know, kind of newer in the game. So I think definitely being more of a voice this year than I was last year has definitely been something that I tried to improve on this year. So
Has that been difficult for you?
you know, trying to just step out of your comfort zone a little bit is definitely something, I wouldn't say new, but it's definitely something a little difficult. But you know, being with all these guys, you're all brothers, so it's just like you can say whatever you want. No one's gonna hate you. No one's gonna have disrespect for you. Everyone kind of knows that whatever you're saying, it definitely means something. So it was definitely a change that I had to work on. So.
This team's in a really good spot. We have a lot of leadership across the board on this team, but I think it's just like reassuring the team that we are ready. You know, having been there, knowing like what it takes. I know that this team has that, so it's just reassuring every day. Like we had a great practice today, like we're ready to go. Like if we've ever been ready at any point in the season, it's now. So I think just that.
I think the biggest thing we've talked about as an offense is just being more aggressive. You know, getting your swing off is the biggest thing. Sure, you're going to miss sometimes, but for the most part, we trust our swings, and having the ability to, you know, stay through the middle of the field will allow us to catch balls out front, hit home runs, and extra base hits in general. So that's been a big thing for us. Yeah, so as of late, we have had a lot of walk-off home runs and, you know, big hits in the late innings. So I think just continuing to have a slow heartbeat at the plate and continuing to trust in one another has been a big thing for us. You know, right before those innings, Bolt comes up to us and constantly tells us, hey, slow heartbeat, trust in the process, and your guys got your back. So.
We're in the neighborhood, just down the street. With a wide variety of home equity products to help you create a relaxing oasis. So you can kick back and relax in comfort. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live. Now let's find out what Matt Vrzal is better at. Telling stories or making pizza.
Matt.
Matt's an exceptional young man.
Matt Vrzal.
Happy birthday, Matt.
You know, Matt, he's a tremendous athlete.
Matt Vrzal.
Come on, Matt. Matt.
Matt, I'm with you.
You know, like Matt Vrzal, you're one of the sexiest people in the world, but you're not one of the most beautiful. How does that happen?
Here is Matt Vrzal.
All right, Matt, thank you very much.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, and we're joined now by Matt Vrzal, former Husker owner of Piezons. What's up, Verz?
Wait a minute.
Can't see any of your smiling faces. I just got a black screen.
That's awesome. That's what you think of me anyway. How you doing?
Well, you are black, Damon.
Wait, you really can't?
How do you fight that?
What do you do? So now I don't want to be black? What are you talking about?
Oh, my God. What? You and my nephews are brothers.
That's true. I'm
See?
definitely adopting them first.
I was so happy. I was like, man, that's great.
Hey, they can definitely come to the cookout for sure. They're in. They're in.
Hey, man, me and you, we got a problem.
Why? Things to discuss. Damon, Caleb, problem. What's the problem with Caleb?
Well, just sent me a text.
Caleb did?
You just sent me a text.
Yes.
About a young woman that works for me that is graduating from Millard South. Congratulations, yes. Michaela.
Yeah, she's very kind.
Okay. We got a problem, buddy, me and you.
Oh, geez. I'm scared to death because I have no idea what you're getting ready to say.
So I come back because I usually go home like at 2, crash out to like 5. I stay up all night to do our last scut lunch of the year. I get back and Miss Michaela is a smitten kitten because one Caleb Benning has picked up the food.
She was vibing with Caleb?
Yeah, she wants to. And she's just so kidding. He's so handsome. And his dad was so nice to me on the phone. And I was like, well, that is fake. I said, but Caleb is a good dude. And you need to get yourself under control, lady.
Me being nice to her was fake?
Yes.
Wow.
But yeah, so Caleb.
Hey, I don't know if you know this, but you do. We're done with the Millard South experiment.
Oh my God, I forgot that little gal did go to Millard South. I forgot that. But no, so now this how, like, I was like, hey, if you want me to facilitate this deal, I'm gonna be on his daddy's show tomorrow, and I will make this happen.
Okay, Cupid.
She goes, you will not. She goes, you won't say that. And I was like, okay. Go on Hurrdat Sports Live and go ahead and watch this. So, Michaela, if you're watching, hello.
You might be the strangest person I've ever met.
Wait, hey, you never know. It might work. She is a great young woman. She is incredibly smart when she wants to be and funny.
She like, it was cool. She was cool. And I felt like there were people talking over my shoulder trying to take control, and I did not want that to happen. And she was very patient with people yelling a lot.
She knows that person, and she likes that person a lot. So she was probably listening to that person more than
that's a problem. Even
and it wasn't. So when you called back to get your wings because we screwed your wings up.
Yeah, Crazy Connor answered.
But was it Connor the second time, or was it Michaela? Because you said you talked to Michaela at one point in time.
So I talked to Michaela twice, and Connor's the one that took the wing order. Connor's my dude, so I'm not gonna bus roll him. But
hey, CB is getting his master's today.
In what?
Cybersecurity.
Oh yeah, we talked about this. We talked about this last week.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, how come he didn't security them wrinkles up off my chicken wings?
Well, that's called condensation, and when he didn't oven bake them.
It's called what?
Condensation.
Condensation. Condensation. Why are you talking like that? And where were you to oversee the goddamn thing?
I literally, thank you for listening when I speak. I just told you I was at home sleeping so I could get some sleep when I just go through the night.
Hey, numbnuts, I heard that part, but I didn't.
That's why I wasn't there.
Well, Caleb didn't come until 7. How long did
Yeah,
you sleep?
I just said I get back 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Oh, I did miss that part. I'm sorry. All I heard is blah blah blah. I'm a dirty whore. What? That's fine.
Hey, Michaela, there's your name right there.
You're a weirdo.
No, you know how it is. If you say she looked at me dead in the face. She goes, "I bet you won't do it." I was like, "Whoa, get ready to lose a bet, young lady."
Hey, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So far, Ben Johnson is getting rave reviews over running that office. Is that what you expected when he took over? Like a guy that would be like McVay, where everybody could hop on board with his vision? Because he could be Eberflus or Gaze, and he's not them guys.
Probably not, but with where he's cut his teeth, I'm not that surprised he's able to do it. I think my lack of trust in it or lack of belief in it would come from being burnt for so long. And then the ownership group I'm not a fan of. And Poles is starting to, now we've got some linemen and I'm starting to warm up to him. But yeah, I wouldn't have expected it. I'm happy it's happening because it's been needed for forever and a day in Chicago.
Hey, Poles got a reference this morning. It just happened to be because Ravi likes to swing from him, but he got a Ryan Poles reference this morning.
I think that was yesterday.
Was it?
I think so.
Oh, who's Ravi's jock riding?
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Ravi's a big fan of the quarterback position in Nebraska taking a huge leap.
Oh,
like all in. Ravi has Nebraska.
Said that out loud?
Yeah, Nebraska has
blasphemed the program and.
No. The other way. Like he's not even sugar free. You're like old school Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah. I'm drinking the full diesel, fully sugared Kool-Aid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does that entail? Like
he's starting with the quarterback spot. Just
probably the two things I'm highest on are Dylan being who we think he is, or who most people think he is.
Okay.
And I'm very high on the defensive line.
Oh, good guy to ask. Hey, let me ask you something, Mr.
So hold on a sec. Hold on.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So the position group that lost its 2 stalwarts. You're high on that position.
I like the people, the bodies they have in that room, and I think it's going to look different than it last year.
100%.
I think they're going to play in a way that emphasizes the guys' abilities that are different than Ty and Nash. Like if you use these guys, if you use Riley and Keona Davis and Cam Lenhart and try and play like you did last year, you're going to be in big trouble. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to try and be a little bit more multiple and disruptive, and I like the bodies they have to try and do that a lot.
This is bad, but Damon, is my guy Judy still there?
Yeah. I know you love him.
I like Judy too.
What did you call? What did you say about his? Did you give him a hip nickname, or are you just describing his hips?
No, he has really, really good hips. Like he is explosive. He's got, now. I will agree with Ravi on the defensive line part because they.
Oh, did we lose him?
He's on a little bit of a delay cutoff thing, and then it catches back up. Where you at, Matty?
Yeah, I think we froze.
Hey, hit him. Have him log back in. Yeah, have him log back in. He kicked himself out. This is the guy we're listening to.
No,
Can you guys see that? This is the guy we're receiving instructions from.
I don't think he looks like that anymore.
He really doesn't. It's incredible. Guy was like my bodyguard in college.
No,
guy doesn't look like he could break wind. Does he?
I mean, the smile's still the same.
Yeah.
Still got the classic British smile.
QB Ace, he looks stoned. He didn't start that until his late 40s, QB.
I think he meant the freeze frame where you kind of get like the closed eyes on accident stuff.
Oh, well, that's definitely right on cue.
No, I agree, though. I think the defense is going to.
I thought he was going to give you a hard time about liking the quarterback and then flipping over to D-line as reasons.
Well, those are the two spots I like the most.
Well, normally you'd go with QB and O-line.
I know, but I was just saying why I'm that high on them. And listen, I've been pretty. O-line's probably third for me because I really like Donnie, and I've been pretty adamant that they've got good bodies and they're going to figure it out. But D-line is the one that I think I'm the biggest outlier on. In terms of general
like
perception.
if
like we took a poll of
most
everybody
people
would say.
hedge it and they say, "Oh, I get the potential." Like you're in there, locked in.
I think that's a really good defense. Going to be a really good defensive line
I'll
group.
be, I'm cheering for you.
I think they're going to be highly disruptive.
I feel part of your your energy comes from things that I've intimated. So I feel like I'm hoping you're right.
Because you don't feel like you led me astray?
Yeah,
sure.
I feel responsible.
There's some of it. I mean, some of it's from you.
If he comes back, I'm going to ask him because he loved the O-line, his practices too.
Yeah.
And I want to ask him, how do you pit one against the other?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've got him back now.
There he is. What up, Maddie? Can you hear me, bud?
I got you.
Hey, so it's interesting because you liked the O-line that day, and you got particular and got in the weeds with some guys that I was like, "Hey, man, good call." How do you pit whether your offensive line is developing versus, man, they're not? Like, how do you gauge it against the D line and not disparage one or the other?
For the linemen, like if you look at the line and you want to equate how they're doing, like time to throw the ball, clear definition of a running lane, those kind of things. Running back may miss it, quarterback might miss a throw, whatever. But if you see those things, then you'll be in a lot better shape. I've never pit one against the other, like an offensive line or defensive line, because I think when that's your most competitive setup every day, those two position groups
have good,
then you're going to be amazing. But when you have one that dominates and then one that takes it, okay, or like if you have a position group, it's like, oh no, they just kicked our ass today, and then the next day it's like, oh, they just kicked our ass again. And the third day it's like, oh, they got lucky today, they kicked our ass for a third straight day. No. And then when you have like coach intervention, that's another huge problem. Like you hear we'll just do it from an offensive standpoint, but you hear, God damn it, defense, don't blitz, don't this, don't the. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. Are you going to say that during the game? Are you going to call timeout and walk across the field and yell at somebody and say, hey, don't blitz right now, okay? You're being mean. That's how usually you can tell when a setup is really good, is when that's the most lively part of the day. Like those guys just getting after it.
So did you watch much interior line play on the defensive side of the ball? I know one guy you do like. You guys both like the same. I think you guys both like 97.
Keona?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, who did? I don't want
to. 16.
Yeah.
So Judy.
Yeah.
I like Judy a lot.
There was one more though. Do you remember? That was so long ago.
Well, I didn't really have a problem with any of them. Like, and I really liked the coach. Like he, drills were going. There was intense. There wasn't a lot of like lag time. There wasn't a lot of standing around.
I think his drills are kind of tough.
As they should be.
I'm like, fudge.
Have you forgotten what it was like when we practiced?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, newsflash, I certainly wasn't watching the D line.
No. This is for universal group like practices. Did you look forward to the one hand, kick your leg up, secure the ball, Frank yell at you drill? Or the running through the little gauntlet thing with the spear sticking out of the side that are on coils that a tractor couldn't drive through?
No.
Yeah, right? Like practice should be uncomfortable and annoying and repetitive and hard.
My favorite is due to heat, we're going to practice at this time, and it used to be, when's it the hottest? That's when we're going.
Yeah. So when are you guys expecting it to be 104?
Oh, about probably 3:45. Okay, guys, we're gonna warm up at 3:30.
Yeah, let's meetings back to 2:15 today. You're like, what? Cut the goddamn grass.
But when you get back to the game being the easiest part of your week, like that's the goal.
I really like those coordination drills. Even Jay Moore, who's been taught at multiple levels, was like, those are tough defensive line drills. Like it hurts my shoulder just watching. Like some of their stuff that they're asking those guys to do from a technique standpoint, I was pretty happy with. And I like Knighton too, so I'm not slandering one. I'm just like,
I think Brain's pretty good though.
These are big boy drills.
Right. But that's got to be the expectation. Like, I'm not disparaging anyone. I know that the rebuild and the 3-year plan and kind of how it goes for Rule and his plan, we're right on path, and that's awesome. Because for the first time in a long time, like I think you can go look at the schedule, and you could honestly find 8 pretty quick right out of the gate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do.
I feel I got to get with the program.
I think you can get that.
No, you don't though. I can get to 8. Now I got to sell you on a couple, but I can get there.
Okay. Now that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're into that crazy world that I love, that I learned at my first spot in Malcolm. If you're just dumb enough to be dangerous, and once you start to win consistently, and that becomes a drug to you, then your brain will take over and say, hey, you lazy ass, we're doing this drill better, or we're not getting our ass beat today, or we're going to figure this out, or, oh, this set of motherfuckers thinks they're better than us, and we're going to go beat their ass and show them they're not. Like, that's what I want to see. When the brain takes over and tells the body, listen, you might be sore, I don't give a shit. We're going that way, we're going fast, and we're going to knock some motherfuckers out. That's what we're doing. Because now you can go back through it and you can think. Because there were games that we went into that we weren't better, but guess what?
Or we would cry about being sore. Like it's history that we were with these machines. Like,
and then when the homies from the other team rolled out and they started getting hit, they're like, whoa, you guys could probably calm down a little bit. Like, no.
Hey, let me ask you something about the special teams aspect of what Nebraska wants to do. How much do you think when you heard a guy that you're familiar with and Eckler say, you know what, we play young guys on special teams. We have a lot of what's the word I'm looking for when you can utilize something in a different place?
Like versatility?
No, it has
flexibility, adaptability,
portable. A lot of portable.
Availability. Oh, that you forgot your own word.
Okay,
buddy, you said portable a lot. It's why it's important to have a good running game. It's portable. You can take it on the road with you. It's rainy, you can run it, and it's windy, you can run it. You said that. Don't act like you didn't.
Whose delivery is that, though? And what are you doing with your body language?
That's you.
That's funny, man.
You need a sheet too. Then you could write down, mocked my movements.
No, I think that's childish. And when we cut up the clips and people can see that whiteboard, I think it's like the funniest thing ever because people are like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Dude, a child.
Wait till the bingo cards come out.
You got bingo cards coming?
Getting Damon Benning slander bingo cards. Things that you said to me that are mean.
You're not even going to be able to fill up How many rows are there? I know bingo has 5. How many?
A full bingo 5x5. Trust me.
Get 25 things that I say.
Oh yeah, got them down ready.
25.
Got to get them fat fingers typing. That's all we got to do. Okay, so Eckler using young guys in special teams makes them portable. Bam.
You like how when you see those practices, how that is like intentional. You think that can win this first year in the Big Ten? I
like the drills they're running. They're very specific drill.
You can say, when we punt, you will be in this situation. This is how we are going to win. Okay. I have said for the regime before, and the regime before that, and the regime before that, I will know you're good when I see you have freshmen and sophomores on your special teams. I will know that. The one of my favorite photos of all time is there is a punt formation, and I believe Wistrom is a guard, and Tomich is a tackle, and Johnny Vett is the tight end. And it was the 94 Orange Bowl. Well, 95 game, 94 season. But them dudes weren't that old.
Yeah,
but they were out there. Clusters in it. Like you got starters and you got future stars.
Up back on punt.
Yeah.
People crazy?
No. Because you show it's important. You got a young guy on that team, like them young dudes on there, like, why am I on punt? I'm a Missouri Player of the Year. Why am I on punt? I'm a freak athlete and stronger than everyone, Jared Tomich. Ved, you can understand. He's just crazy. He's just happy to be there. I'm about to kill somebody. Oh, another ginger. Congratulations. That's a good one.
Ved could definitely come to the cookout.
Yeah.
Now, he may tear that thing up, but.
That's a win. That's a win for you. That's a good one.
My mom may put him out, though. I don't know.
But your mom already invited me to the cookout. So Miss B, she sends me messages on Facebook. I love to see you on the show. It's so fun. Yeah. But anyway, when you get those young guys in there, then they look like, why is that starter in here? And I was like, because he wants it. And he doesn't want you screwed up. So you better not screw it up. I love it. I think you tell when teams are taking that next step up when you see that on special teams.
All right.
That's our guy.
All right, meathead.
Matt Vrzal.
You kept it to a minimum. Only a few.
Well timed. They were very.
Let a few go in there.
Yeah, I thought it was very effective.
It seemed to fit.
Yeah.
As much as cuss words need. Knock it off.
Caleb, I got somebody interested, bud. If you need.
Got enough problems with relations.
I did say this too. Like, he wear them little cheap diamond stud earrings. They were all like, "Yeah, he had them, man."
Listen, he's definitely upgraded.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
So we're not budgeting with our NIL money, Dad.
Oh, he's fantastic.
But saving.
Listen, this dude didn't even need a cosigner.
You had a cosign for earring?
No, his they're moving. He's got a house application.
Well, that just because he doesn't have a cosigner, that just means the landlord's like, ooh, there's some money coming my way. I don't have to worry about mom and dad.
Thanks, eternal optimist.
That's who's benefited the most from NIL, landlords in college towns. They don't want any legislation on this. They're like, leave these kids alone.
Probably
we're building apartment complexes with pools and saunas, and we're gonna get richer.
Yep. You didn't read the fine print, buddy. Pony up.
You coming over, Richard Face?
Yes, I am.
Oh, your boy Connor's not here. He's graduating. See ya.
All right, later.
Bye, Verse. That's Matt Vrzal.
Dude's a true.
As always. We'll be back on Monday. SDB. I'm Ravi Lulla, Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.